Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for yet another match of Super Rugby Pacific. I've just realised we've still got Tyke Furlong up in the corner. I'll get rid of him. There we go. At this game, it is the Fijian Drua taking on the Hurricanes. Should be a very entertaining game, and it is the Sunday night fixture, the last game of round 12. My voice, it's been better, but we're not doing too badly at the moment, and Lachlan is here in the chat. Also, Ali is here, Christine. Then alongside that, we have got Justin, and he's running late, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long 40 hours for our man Hamish. Big props to you, Hamish, says Justin. Yeah, I was a little bit late by about a minute here for this live stream. Had to try and set up everything, make sure it was running smoothly. But the weird thing is my Wi-Fi should not be as smooth as it is currently, and it has been good for the past 3 days, and I have no idea what's happened. It's as if they've finally decided, hang on, we might just save them from resetting the modem 50 times a day. But now we will be looking through at the starting lineups and reserves of both of these sides. We've got a little bit of time before the kickoff does get underway. And it was a bit strategic so that my voice does warm up. And also because this game's going to be an absolutely awesome one. And we will get to see everything going on with these two sides. And it's a bit of a shame with some of the players missing for both of these two teams. But I'm hoping that even though there are certain players out, that the key players will still be able to shine throughout this game. So we will go like this. And we will go like this. This is the starting lineup now for the home side, the Hurricanes. Now, there is no Ardie Savia. That's the Fijian Drua. We'll go like this. There we go. That's the lineup we're after. But there is no Ardie Savia, no Julian Savia. And also in this game, they will not have Geordie Barrett. But the starting lineup, Xavier Numia, Asafa Moa, and Tyrell Lomax will be the front row. Then it is Isaiah Walker-Leawere and Justin Sangster. They will be the locks. Blake Gibson, Duplessis Karifi returns after quite a long layoff. And then it will be Tyler Lubska, who does slot in at number 8. So a big opportunity for the youngster to have a debut here. Hello, Hamish and chat. Welcome in, and Kane should win. There's Ali Fresh as well. And yeah, they are favourites to be able to go on to beat this Fijian Drua outfit, who are unfortunately not coming off too many wins currently for themselves, which is a bit of a shame for the Fijian Drua. But they've been close many times, and perhaps this game could go their way. TJ Perenara slotting in at number 9, and then at number 10, it is Aidan Morgan, the midfield, Billy Proctor and Balin Sullivan, two players who have been playing pretty well in past seasons. And Balin Sullivan, for me, has been one of the standout centres alongside Thomas Umaga Jensen for the Highlanders. Then in the back three, it is Salisi Reasi at number 11, Wes Wilson at number 14, and then Josh Morby does slot in at 15 for this matchup. Then looking through now at the Fijian Drua side, it is Hiariti Hatit in the front row, Zuriel Togiotama, and then it is Samu Tawake as the front three. Then alongside that is Asoa Nasila Sila, and then it will be Tuing Fangalele slotting in at number 5, Meli Derialangi, the captain. Then it is Kitioni Salawa, and then Tia Hiwaru Chorika Davita slotting in at number 8. Then in the back line, Kuravoli and Caleb Muntz does return to number 8. My voice is already, or number 10, sorry. Voice is already trying to go away. Matatiwa and Abasalomi Vota in the midfield. And then out on either wing, Kitioni Ratu and also Ravatamada with Kitioni Taliga slotting in at number 15 for this contest. So it's going to be interesting to see how they go. Well, this one, and even with players, Canes are still favourites at home, exactly right. They have got themselves a very strong outfit, even with those players out. And also we have got their Dan Coles. He is coming off the bench. Or is he coming off the bench? He is indeed. He is number 16 for this one, and also tipping the Drua to cause an upset in this one, says Amelia. And yeah, in the preview, we did predict initially that it could have been the Drua winning, and then I saw the players out for the Drua as well. The fact that they are missing Habosi, sadly, I think that's going to be the big one. That will be a bit of a kicker for them. Looking through at their bench, and it's going to be Ikanaveri, Tuni, and also Manasa Saulo, starting in at 18. Then it is Mamadonu and Chris Namimbi as the other two lock replacements, and a loose forward replacement there. Nawai coming off the bench, Tella, and then Onisi Ratave. Oh, well, and also we have got the Hamish. Did you practice learning all these names and pronunciations? I did, because without the practice, these names would not roll off the tongue very well at all. So luckily, I've been practicing, I guess you could say, just trying to learn how each of the syllables and whatnot are pronounced. So I feel like I'm slowly getting there for the Fijian names. There's still a few that I do struggle with, but we're slowly but surely making our way through. Dane Coles, number 16, Tavita Mafaleo, and Owen France coming off the bench. That is a name that a lot of people didn't expect to see in New Zealand rugby, other than maybe in a coaching role or something along those lines. But he is going to be playing in this game. Caleb Delaney, TK Alden, Cam Roygard, Jackson Garner-Bishop, and then it will be Higgins starting in at number 23, and he is on debut for this matchup also. But it is being played at Sky Stadium. Kickoff is only just around the corner. Head-to-head currently. These two scrums are the number 1 and 2 for scrums. They have just mentioned 95.2% scrum win rate for the Hurricanes is very impressive. But this game for me, it's going to be a hard-hitting one. Both of these sides are going to have to work extremely hard to try and keep themselves in this contest. But there are some big games coming up just around the corner for Super Rugby Pacific, and they will be taking place next week. Anyone who was in the chat, have you been watching the Champions Cup? And did you see the matchup take place between Toulouse and Munster? That was an absolutely crazy game. We did the commentary last night, and it was, I couldn't believe it. We went to golden point time. We then went, or it was extra time. Then we went to a penalty kickoff, which I had not seen up till that point, and also should be an interesting trial by 5 on Kiwi soil for the Drua as first timers. And also learn this word. It means awesome. Bulaiamish in there. Wainanavu. Hopefully I've said that not too badly. Hopefully you haven't set me up and it's not like a swear word or something like that, because I have had someone, they sent a whole heap of messages and they were actually all of these Tongan swear words, and then they donated and they were like, hey, by the way, I've just made you swear in Tongan like many, many times. 87% say that the Hurricanes are going to be able to win this contest. I will mention hay fever, even though it is a new day, it is still playing a factor. I feel like that sneeze was a pretty well-timed one, wasn't it? I perfectly muted just before it hit. But yeah, there's going to be some sneezing throughout this live stream, I would think. But currently now, the crowd at Sky Stadium, it doesn't look too bad. There's a little bit of sun around. But also, I would say that this matchup for the FIJIAN Drua, they will love playing in New Zealand. And it's going to be pretty awesome to see exactly how it does end up ending. Do let me know your score predictions, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, and also who you think will be able to score the first try. My voice hopefully will last throughout this live stream. At times it's going up and down, and also this is a Kiwi channel, so I'm not surprised at the poll in favour of the Hurricanes. Says Sammy Souza. Yeah, that one's probably going to be a little bit more, I guess you could say, non-impartialness, a little bit of more, I guess you could say, favouritism towards the Kiwi side for our Kiwi channel. The Kiwi lads at the end of the day is the name. But I think they are 87% likely for the TAB odds, which is pretty massive for them in this one. There we go. Hay fever sucks, ladies and gentlemen. Once we do end up sorting out hay fever, it probably means that it's getting very cold here in New Zealand. Currently 14 degrees, actually. Not too bad, though, currently. But for me, key players to watch in this game, I would have said Hapmosi, I would have said Frank Lamani, but both of those two players, they are being rested for this game. New Zealand, good luck, Fiji. And yeah, good luck, Hurricanes, good luck, Hamish. Says Justin there as well. But yeah, one thing is for sure, this game's going to be hard-hitting. It's going to be exciting. And I think a player who's really going to be able to tear it up is actually Apatalomi Vota in the midfield. I did actually mention him in my preview a bit earlier on that I did release on the channel. And then alongside him, I would say probably, if I had to pick one player for the Hurricanes, I think Wes Wilson's going to have a good game. And it is just around the corner for the game at Sky Stadium. The clouds are moving very quickly in the background. I assume there's a little bit of wind around, and that is not me just saying that because it's in Wellington. That is looking at the background and seeing how quickly those clouds were moving. But like I have mentioned, it's currently Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there as well. But now, I guess the big thing for me is FIJIAN Drua's discipline, because we've seen so many times that they've been able to bring that physicality, they've been able to bring the flair, but then it's the penalties against them that normally does end up costing them, which is something they cannot afford for this game, because the Hurricanes, they normally will make the most of the opportunity. They haven't got Geordie Barrett, So that probably takes out your 50-plus meter kick, which then means they will be more than likely going to kick for the quarter. I like Talia as fullback. There's Mr. Billy. He's been looking very good since transferring from the 7 side of things. Like, he has just looked like he's played Union for a very long time. And he seems to just have that little bit of acceleration, like more than a lot of other fullbacks. Just that little extra pop off the acceleration mark. And then that is something that really helps him out when he is under pressure. I know that in his very first game, he struggled just a little bit. But the only reason I say that is because I think it was just getting those nerves out of the way. And then from there, he just kept on shining. But they are just showing the starting lineups and reserves from both of the sides. So TJ Perenara, he is in charge of the Hurricanes for this game. And he will be excited to be the captain of this matchup. But this is the Hurricanes lineup. Xavier Numia, Safa Moa, and Tyrell Lomax as the front row. Then Walker Leaweda and Sangster as 4-5. Blake Gibson, Duplessis Karefi, and also it is Lipska who does slot in at number 8. And he's on debut for this matchup. So a massive opportunity, and it's going to be a hard-hitting debut. I feel like there's probably not many teams you come against that are harder hitting than the Fijian Drua to have your very first Super Rugby fixture against. TJ Perenara there, number 9, Aidan Morgan, number 10, then Billy Proctor, Balin Sullivan, Salisi Rayasi, Wes Wilson, and then Josh Morby is the number 15. Then looking through at the Fijian Drua starting lineup, Hatit, Togiotama, and then Tawaka as the front row. Now Sila, and also Toe Whangalele starting in at number 5. Dirialangi, Salawa, and Shurikanavita there as the other options. Got them in the back line. Or no, they're not the back line. The loose forward trio. Karavoli there at 9. Caleb Muntz at 10. Then Matathiwa and Apa Salome Vota as the 2 centres. Ravatamada, Kitioni Ratu, and Kitioni Talia slotting in at number 15 for this game. But the Fijian Drua at the moment, they are sharing a song in a moment in the changing rooms. And they are now going to be ready to go. They just narrowly lost last week up against the Highlanders in Suva. And now they want redemption. And they're in Wellington. It's a windy day. It's going to be hard to judge some of the kicks that are going high. So I would assume we're going to see quite a few box kicks early on from TJ Perenara. Try and test out the Fijian Drua when it comes to that high ball. But the Fijian Drua might fire some back. They've got Kuravoli, who doesn't mind a box kick or two when he does get the chance. But at the moment, they were able to score 3 tries last week, but they beat 27 defenders, which is a number that is absolutely incredible because the Highlanders have normally one of the strongest defenses in the competition in terms of tackling completions. But to beat 27 is a stat that the Highlanders will certainly want to forget. But now the Fijian Drua are being welcomed onto New Zealand soil. And Caleb Muntz, big opportunity for him now. And he'll be ready to go. Baden Kirsto, another player who we haven't actually seen back yet, sadly. And I believe that is due to injury. So hopefully in the future we do get to see him back and he will be able to return into that lineup. Same with Habosi, because he will be there hopefully next week in the big matchup. Habosi taking on probably Tima Whaiana Nuku. It's going to be Fijian Drua up against Moana Pacifica. And we'll be covering that game on the channel alongside all of the other Super Rugby fixtures and also the Champions Cup. So if you are new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. But now the Hurricanes, I almost said Highlanders, but that is the Hurricanes making their way out onto the field now. And this will be a big one. I see that they're actually in their away kit, the Hurricanes, which is interesting as they are playing at Sky Stadium. So I guess maybe there was a bit of a clash between the Fijian Drua away kit and the home kit. So now the youngster Tyler Lipska, South African debut today. He's 190 for his height, and also he weighs 104 kg, so he's a big boy in the loose forward trio, and we'll be looking forward to this big opportunity to play for the Hurricanes. Same with TJ Perenara getting the opportunity to captain the side, something that really happens. It's normally either going to be, I think more recently, Artie Savi or I think James Blackwell, if I'm thinking right, might have also had a couple captaincies cap. Well, that side, but James Dolman going to be in charge of this one. This game about to be underway, ladies and gentlemen. But if you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is hugely appreciated, all the support you guys have been showing over the weekend, and we have got plenty more coming in the future. So be sure to stick around. But Aidan Morgan will be kicking off this game for the Hurricanes to get us underway for the last game of round 12 of Super Rugby Pacific. Sky Stadium. It's a huge stadium. There's a wind blowing across it. And Aidan Morgan gets us underway for this matchup. It's kicked off. And it's going to be awkwardly taken once again. Now it is in the hands of Billy Proctor. And the reason I say once again is because we've had about 3 of the kickoffs in Super Rugby round 12 that just haven't quite worked out for the sides that have been trying to receive them. And now the Hurricanes sitting about 20 metres out from the line. Now it's a good attack and run from Josh Morby, who was not kind of shy away from taking on some big contact. Same with this man, Asafa Amua, but he's hit hard by Tawake and Sharika Davita. Now Perenara going back to Aidan Morgan. They're 15 metres out currently. So Lisi Deasi cut out pass. Good attack and run from Billy Proctor. Down the wing, but straight on the ball. Almost where the Fijian Drua. Now so Lisi Deasi going to back his power. Keep him just in the field of play. And Robert Tamada tries to put him into touch. Now going back across. In the hands now a big Tyrell Lomax coming off 2 tries. That man and not too long ago, and he will be looking forward to the next opportunity to get himself another double. Balin Sullivan trying to break through. Good low tech on him though by Upper Salomi Vota. Now Zami Numia. It's wrestled down by Zogi or Zuriel Togi Otama. Now Salisi Rayasi just got bent in half by Deria Langi, who decided if you're going to jog into contact, we're going to try and break you. Now 10 metres out from the line. TJ Perenara goes back across to Proctor. Now Josh Morby, attack and run. Good low tech on him by, I believe it was Robert Tomada. In fact, it was Matathiwa making his first tackle. Now the youngster, tell you what, that is some huge contact for your first game. That's going to be an advantage. Now to the Hurricanes, 16 phases in, and they continue to go for it and try and get themselves over the line. So Lisi Deasi now trying to spin out of the tackle. Finds the offload out to Aidan Morgan. It's been hit hard by Deria Langi, and like they're saying, still 10 metres out. They haven't been able to make any extra metres in the last about 5 to 10 phases. Now going down, Perenara looks to the short side. Salisi Rayasi now trying to break through. He's dropped that ball, and they will be going back for the initial penalty. Right, if the Hurricanes are strategic here, I would say they might consider taking the 3. I think Tyrell Lomax might have a broken nose already. So Salisi Rayasi's looking a little bit worse for wear as well. Right, Asafa Moore has got this ball in hand, which is interesting. Okay, they're kicking for the corner here, so they're going to be going and chasing the bonus point, I believe, this early on. It will be a testing time for them, as it is going to be, a lot of tough contact throughout it, like I mentioned. And I feel like I'm sounding like a broken record, but anytime you go head-to-head with this FIJIAN Drua side, you come off with a lot of bruises. And currently, the Hurricanes, they are sitting in 7th. They are quite far down the table. We're actually sitting on 24 points. I thought they were a bit higher than that, but I think they have kind of drifted behind a little bit. If they do end up winning this game, they will move themselves up. Well, in fact, they'd still be in 7th, but they'll be a little bit closer to coming back. And also, we've got if the Drua were to win another match, I think this is their best chance. I say this as a Canes fan says to JSP. And that's the thing. The FIJIAN Drua, with how close they were to tasting success in Suva, away from home, I feel like they're just going to be a whole different beast. And also the Munster-Toulouse game was insane last night. This morning it was 115 minutes that game went for. And I just couldn't believe my eyes pretty much. It was the first time I've ever seen a game go to penalty shootout. And hopefully the last, because I feel like that is just such a stressful time for the team that end up losing that game. It's a penalty to the FIJIAN Drua, only 5 metres out from their line. And it's brilliantly done. And just like that, Fiji have been able to get that ball back, and they will be able to kick it for touch. Hurricanes winger Wes for a try, and there's Wes Wilson. He's a very impressive player, and yeah, I think he should have a very decent crack in this game. And I was like, go Hurricanes, go, says Reed there. And I was like, hey, how are you doing? I hope you do it, or I hope you are enjoying the game, says Carlos. I am indeed. And 18 phases or so, the FIJIAN Drua defended. It was actually Kitioni Salawa who was able to get over that ball and win that penalty, I should mention. But now 4 minutes into the game, and it will be Togiotama with his first line out throw, 25 out from their own line. Taken nicely at the front by Nasila Sela. Now Caleb Muntz goes off to Big Chirika DeVito. Would have played quite often up against quite a few of these Hurricanes players in Bulavanaka. And there's JSP as well. Now kicked him behind from Talinga. He's going to be chasing it hard, and it sits up nicely for Josh Morby, who now will be back in the counter-attack for the Hurricanes. But he has hit in a big old tackle by Tui Whangalele. Well, it's able to drag him down now. It's going to be, once again, Lobsha. I believe it was how they pronounced that one. Now Aidan Morgan almost through. Beautiful offload to a Safa-Mua, who gains an extra maybe 15 metres post-contact. Now Perenara goes short side. Salisi Reasi. So he said there wasn't really too much of an option down the short side. So it does just take the contact. Now Perenara goes back across into the hands of Justin Sangster. Now Morgan going back into the hands of Isaiah Walker-Leawere. And you know that you're up against a big side when Isaiah Walker-Leawere doesn't just man-mountain everyone in the opposition. Normally that man is absolutely huge, but he looks about stock standard size for a lock. That was close, and it's another turnover for the Fijian Drua. And it's the same man. Kitione Salawa once again has been able to get himself that turnover. So he got one only 2 minutes ago, and now he has got another one, joining ruck incorrectly against the Hurricanes. And Caleb Muntz will be kicking this one for the touchline. But the Hurricanes are certainly having plenty of attack in the early stages of this game. The Fijian Drua, they seem up for it. Now, Caleb Muntz does find it into touch. And the big thing for me for the Fijian Drua is going to be how well is this line-out going to function? Because we've seen so many times in the past, they've had brilliant back lines and brilliant fullback, but it's that line-out that lets them down. And Isaiah COVID-19 just got it today, says Ollie Wilson. So hopefully you do end up recovering relatively quickly, mate. And yeah, be sure to rest up. All right, oh, it's a loose ball, but Kuravoli able to clean it up. It's been kind of jockeying between 9 and 10 in recent weeks. Now Caleb Muntz does play halfback. Passes back into the hands of the big man, Tawake. Does try and get forward. He's almost had his shirt stolen off him at the moment. And Justin Sangster goes for the counter ruck. Doesn't quite work out. Kuravoli somehow still gets the kick away, even though he was tackled mid-air almost. Now it is TJ Perenara has been able to get that back, and it's going to be the advantage. I think that time it is against Kitione Salawa. So unfortunately, when you're right on the verge of getting that turnover all the time, sometimes you are going to get it slightly wrong. I said that Kuravoli has actually stayed down for the Fijian Drua, and I believe that was from his kick that he didn't end up doing. Hopefully he is going to be all right, as he will be one of the keys for them in the later stages of this game. Now Balin Sullivan does spin off, gives it back off to Hayden Morgan. He got forced backwards, and now they are going to be going back for the initial penalty. I'm just looking back. He is still down here, unfortunately, for Kuravoli, and it might be some sort of ankle injury by the looks of it, the way that they're bending that ankle. Kuravoli, he went for the shot. Oh, yeah, no, that's an ankle twisted, and he felt it straight away. You can see the grimace, the way that he landed. Okay, it sounds like there might be a high tackle just over the shoulders, what we have just heard, but Dane Coles, Owen Franks, two very experienced players coming off the bench for the Hurricanes in the later stages. And also, he's going to tackle Lee tickle Lee at youth group. Says Ollie, and also, how's everyone doing? Says Ed, I'm doing very well. I'll be honest, a little bit tired from last night after the Champions Cup. That game was hectic. But we're all good. And we will be sleeping very much so tonight for probably like 14 hours. But possession so far throughout the early stages of this game, territory 97%, possession 85%. And also the other side of things is Fiji and Drua have made 47 tackles. Hurricanes have made 4. And they have spent 3 minutes in the half, or in the 22 of the Fiji and Drua, in fact. And it seems like Kuravoli is going to continue. It's a bold statement for that man to be able to stay out there, but he's getting heavy strapping. He probably can't even feel the foot at this stage with that much tape on it. But he is going to keep on going. And also, let's go the Monty Canes. Hi, Ames G'day. Says it was David the Mod, and also Ty, but good. Says Ed, and also we're going to who won last night. So the first game of the Champions Cup was Munster versus Toulouse, and it went to a penalty shootout. They played for 100 minutes, couldn't split the two sides. Then it went to the goal-kicking playoff. And in the end, Toulouse were able to get themselves the victory. Then the other game between Leinster and Leicester, they were able to win that one, Leinster. So now it's Leinster versus Toulouse in the next stage. And then La Rochelle on the other side of the draw were able to beat Montpellier. Now Caleb Muntz going back across. It's a bit of a juggle from Upper Salome Vota, but he's done well to hang on to that one. And now still available for the Fijian Drua. I think someone was possibly protesting for a bit of an offside there, I should say. Now Matatiwa with a step. Justin Sangster is unable to get that ball. Now short ball to Oake. Bit long. Somehow keeping that ball in play. Togi Otama, and now Kitione Ratu gets a bit of space, and he is an explosive runner with the ball in hand. Now it's a good counter ruck from the Hurricanes, and it's the youngster Lupska once again getting involved. And also we got their Brumbies. Says Ollie Wilson. I mean, there were some good games of rugby that did take place last night. And also, I mean, Super Rugby has been treating us some very awesome games. The Brumbies, they were playing up against the Chiefs. And it was actually the Brumbies who were able to win that game by 10 in the end, which was very impressive for the Brumbies outfit. But it was, in the end, a penalty did end up going. And also Hurricanes 37, is that 37-0 against the Fijians face? Or is that 37 and then maybe some other number for the Fijian Drua? I feel like we're going to get to see some sort of try from the Fijian Drua. In fact, I'm going to actually say that they get 2 or 3 tries throughout this game. The hack weights currently both very solid, 898 for the Hurricanes compared to the 889 of the Drua. And I believe that is because of that little combination of having someone like a Te Ahiwaru Charika-Davita, but then also alongside it, you've got quite a nimble number 7 in Salawa. So because of that, it kind of evens itself out. Whereas the Hurricanes are probably sitting at, everyone's about the same size in their loose forward trio. Okay, we can't be pre-engaged, is the comment from the referee now. But 10.5 minutes through this game, and we are still sitting 0-0 between these two sides, ladies and gentlemen. So neither side being able to get themselves over the line as of yet in this matchup. Blues versus Reds, that will be a good game. His faces certainly will be FIJIAN DRUA up against Moana Pacifica, also taking place next week. In fact, while I am at it, I will let you guys know exactly all of the games that are taking place next week. There's some pretty big ones coming up. I think the Chiefs must almost be due to play. I don't think they've played the Western Force yet, have they, the Chiefs? So it is going to be the Chiefs. They're actually playing the Rebels. It's a penalty to the Fijian Drua, and they didn't even have the scrum feed. So that is even that much more impressive up against Tyrell Lomax there. Let's go to Kane, says Aiden there as well. So the games next week, Highlanders versus Western Force, Brumbies Crusaders. That is a big game for Friday night. Then it will be the Fijian Drua up against Moana Pacifica, Blues versus Reds, Waratahs Hurricanes. That will also be an exciting contest. And then the Chiefs versus Rebels on the Sunday at 4 p.m. Now, Kuravoli's actually going to be replaced now. And it will be Nawai who makes his way out onto the field. So that's a shame for Kuravoli that he has gone off or for an injury so early. And also the Rebels, says no moment. Also Brumbies versus Crusaders will be a good one. And Tony Ferguson just got knocked out with a head kick. I'm in shock, says Aiden. So that would have been up against Michael Chandler for that one. So that would have been huge. Who won the Donald Cerrone fight? Do let me know, Aiden. I haven't actually seen any of the results of UFC as of yet, but that will mean that the next fight coming up is, I think it must be Rose Namajunas up against Carla Esparza now as the next one. Nicely run forward from Kitione Ratu. Finds a beautiful offload to Caleb Muntz, sitting on the halfway line currently. And it is quickly recycled from Nawai. Goes straight into the hands of the big man, Tui Whangalele. Now backline movement, Charika-Davita getting involved once again, running hard at Salisi Deasi. He will go straight into touch though. And it will now be a line out in favour of the Hurricanes. And also, unfortunately, Cowboy got COVID. Geez, so that would have been quite a late cancellation, was it? Did they manage to get that fight with someone else there, or was it just no fight at all? Aiden, do let me know. Any rugby tonight? How was your family lunch? Says Aiden, it was good. Overall, I would say I was quite tired throughout it because my eyes were like this for most of it from being up all night, pretty much. But it was good. Well, they won it. And any rugby tonight, I was hoping to do Wrestling 92 versus Sale Sharks, but that will completely depend on what time I end up going to bed and how tired I am. Because by then, I probably would have had about 3 hours sleep and about 30 hours. We're now going back across once again. Ravatamada, nice cutout pass. Out of the hands of Togi Otama, running down the wing with the ball in one hand. A risky tactic, but normally works pretty well. And also, Kels Williams took on Randy Brown. And there's going to be a penalty now to the Hurricanes against the Fijian Drua. This called is not releasing, and Aidan Morgan will now be able to kick this one for touch in the place of it. Okay, so they promoted it up to the main card. That makes sense. So that was going to be the main event of the prelims, wasn't it? That one's gone into touch about 22 metres out from the line. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. I will quickly go like this. There we go. We are better now. Now backline movement for the Highlanders, for the Hurricanes, straight through Josh Morby. and he will score the first try of the match. And just like that, the Hurricanes have got themselves on the board. Right, that happened pretty quickly, didn't it? They just kind of made something out of nothing for that lineup. But the Hurricanes try scorers, it is Josh Morby. Been very impressed with him throughout this season, and he does continue to deliver. So try scorers, Morby. There you go. And he did score it in the 15th minute of the game. Josh Morby goes over, and he does score the first try of the match for the Hurricanes. And also, we've got them live stream. It's not working very good. I have to bid because that, and there's Brandon also. We have got there put $100 on Rose Gaethje, Hurricanes, Storm, and the Cronulla Sharks. Says Aiden, and also we got there paid 300. And also we got there 7-0. Says Fussy there. It certainly is at the stage, although still a kick to come for myself. And also, who is reserve halfback for the Canes is Rudd on the bench. He is not at this stage. I believe the replacement that they've got is Cam Roygard. For this game, in about time, is nearly falling asleep. Says Novum. Well, that one as well. Currently now the kick for the posts. And also now I'm here. Says Brandon there as well. So welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Other than, of course, the live stream not quite playing the game. We'll quickly go like this. And we will go like this. Aidan Morgan about to line up the kick. And it is successful. So now the score is going to be 7-0 in favour of the Hurricanes, the home side at Sky Stadium. And it's been quite a tough 15 minutes. They've had all of the ball. They haven't been able to get themselves over the try line, but now they do reap the rewards of a good set play off a line out. Now it's going to be kicked off deep from Nawai. And chased hard from Ravatamata, who wasn't quite able to get him in the end. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport. My voice is trying to disappear from all the talking I've done recently. That one's gone into touch. And also, I'm live. I'm live to this. If that's me, very. Here's Brandon there as well. Currently 16 minutes into the game, and it is going to be Togi Otama who will be going for this line out throw now for the Fijian Drua. Now, if they can score themselves a try in the next little while, they will be right back into this contest. Nicely taken at the front. And it has been looking very good for their line out so far, which is a good, successful play for the FIJIAN DRUA. Salawa in the midfield. Taking it nicely now. Another attack and run here. Now offloaded back from Tui Whangalele off to Muntz. Now it's up a Salome Vota. Attack and run. Where's Horson straight on the ball? Unable to get him off it. And that will be the penalty now in favour of the Hurricanes. And they have been very strong in the breakdown throughout the early stages of this game. Same with the Fijian Drua, though. I'm liking what I'm seeing from both loose forward trios. And then that one was actually Wes Wilson who got himself in there. And now Salisi Reasi, they've decided to give him the ball. And also Fiji needs more experience on the wings, says Lake Show. And yeah, it is all going to be about, I guess, just getting used to the competition for the Fijian Drua. Because if they win their game next week up against Moana Pacifica and they somehow pull off the upset and win this game, they can actually almost still make the quarterfinals, which is actually, like, that would be a huge achievement for a first season with a side that they have to rotate thoroughly. And also be a month before the last copyright happens on my, says Brandon, although normally copyright strikes, you've got 3 months that you do have to wait for them, I think. Now, Josh Morby, he goes through almost once again. Now gives it off to Salisi Rasi. Beautiful offload. And Lufsha was just short of the line, almost scored on debut. But now the Hurricanes 2 meters out. And Rasi passes it across. And there's off Duplessis Karifi. Now around the side, Justin Sangster quickly recycled by the Hurricanes trying to get the Fijian Drua defense to maybe make a mistake. There's an advantage now for offside. Now, Piranara, he goes himself. I think he was just short. Yes, he was. And now, because of it, the Hurricanes, they will continue to throw their big forwards at the line. Reasi once again plays half back. Going back across to Wes Orson. Wide cutout pass. Asafa Moa. Too strong. Goes straight through the high shot from Matatiwa. And he does end up scoring the try and draw in there. Says Onisi there. And also, we got the Patrick Osborne Village Mata or Johnny Dyer type of player. And there says Lake Show. And also, Canes will keep them scoreless in the first half because Canes will keep the ball, says Daniel. And they have had about 90% of the possession at this stage. I'm looking forward to seeing what Fijian Drua do when they do get that ball. But first of all, it is going to be that case of trying to get it, which the Hurricanes don't seem too keen on giving it up at this current point in time. and it has now led to another try. And this time, it was a Safa who does go in for it and does end up scoring it. Also, yeah, now I got a copyright in Feb. Now I got in April back, and there's Brandon. Now deep breaths being taken by the Hurricanes fullback. That's the thing. As draining as it is to make so many tackles, it is also draining to have the ball for almost a full 20 minutes. And I think the Hurricanes, they will just keep on pushing that pace, try and wear down the Fijian Drua. But the Fijian Drua, they only need one moment to be able to create some magic. And also we have got there, come on, Drua, please win one more game, says Jabez. And they have got Moana Pacifica next week. So I feel like that one, they will certainly go in as, I'd like to say, favourites up against Moana Pacifica. Although that game is it in Fiji? One moment. No, it's in Sydney. Why is it in Sydney and not in Fiji for that matchup? That would have been an absolutely awesome one. And stop causing penalties, says Jabez there. That one has missed away to the side, so it will remain at 12-0 in favour of the Hurricanes now. But yeah, those penalties in the breakdown, they have been costing them. And I don't see it unless we make big changes. Says Lake Show there as well, because I know that Habosi will be back for that next matchup. And as Drua playing against Pacifica, they are indeed next week, Saturday, 4:35 p.m. New Zealand time is when that one is taking place, and it's going to be an awesome match. We are covering it on the channel. And I was like, okay, Drua, ruining their chances. Says JSP there. It's going to be taken nicely by Justin Sangster. Good shot from Tui Whangarele. Has been able to make that tackle. Now going back across to Perenara Proctor and behind for Aidan Morgan, who kicks it high and looking for a bit of territory. It's swirling in the Wellington wind, which is always tough to read. Now Kitioni Ratu close to the touchline. Offloads it beautifully to Talega. Now trying to keep himself just in the field of play. It's been stolen by the Hurricanes. And as a FIJIAN Drua fan, if anyone is watching, which I know we've got quite a few FIJIAN Drua fans, that would have been a frustrating moment for them to lose that ball straight away. Now Perenara, they are being ruthless at the moment. It was a little knock on, though, in the breakdown. So now it does mean that it will be the scrum feed for the FIJIAN Drua. And they were actually able to win themselves a scrum penalty earlier in the match. These two sides, 1 and 2 for the highest and the scrum percentage of wins for this season. Also say it on Twitter, because they won't want me get back from Team YouTube. And there says Brandon. Currently, quite a few in attendance for this game at Sky Stadium. And they will certainly get their money's worth for this game. Even if this game is one-sided, they're still going to be having some very awesome moments. Although I would like to think there's a FIJIAN Drua try just around the corner. And I don't know whether or not that is being too optimistic, but I think they've got a good chance. They've got the second most successful line out, the scrum. I'm about to sneeze again. That is unfortunate. One moment, ladies and gentlemen. Still haven't managed to get myself my tissue sponsor yet, but we're working on it. Matatewa, they've got the advantage now for the FIJIAN Drua. I'm back now. Why the replacement halfback? Let's give it off into the hands of the captain, Didi Langi. Now going short side, Munst off to Ravatamada. And it looks like I think Justin Sanks is really playing 50-50 of whether or not he's going to get penalised in a breakdown currently. He has been lucky so far, but there might be one not too far away. And also get well soon. Says Lake Show, yeah, it's just hay fever or sinus, it is called as well. So pretty much it's because of the pollen in the air that I just end up sneezing. And it's kind of happened for the last kind of few months, unfortunately. Again, you show because I want to see who play in sevens. There's Brandon there as well. Can you show, because I want to see who plays in the sevens. If we're talking about to lose sevens, that is in a couple of weeks' time. And they have announced the pools, but they have not actually announced the draw of when the games are taking place as of yet, I don't believe. But we will get to see Fiji, Samoa. Who else have we got? Fiji, Samoa, New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, South Africa. And you got GF Rose. And there says Aiden, she should win. But it's always tough to know. Because Carla Esparza, she is a tough fighter. I think that one must be almost starting now, is it? But now it's gone back. Now Wise got this on the halfway line. The line out, it was a little bit shaky for the FIJIAN Drua, but they still hang on to it straight in the breakdown. He's man a mover, suffer more. In fact, it's Xavier Numia, and he has been able to win the turnover. And also Telfast will sort out your hay fever, says Mr. Billy there. And also now I'm Fijian, and also it's just got under weight, says Hayden there It's our Telfast. I might have to have a look at that because the one that I use currently doesn't work, unfortunately, and I do need to switch at some stage, I think, to a different hay fever tablet. There we go. And also we've got the Sky Sports 1. And there says Brandon as well. It's going to be taken very nicely. Now pass back across Billy Proctor now into the hands of Balin Sullivan. Bit of space opening up for that youngster. And it's ripped away by Kitione Ratu, but it somehow still ends up on the same. Wait, the referee was about to blow his whistle for a knock on, and then he refrained. So now because of it, it does mean that the Hurricanes are still going to have this ball. Blake Gibson, only 10 metres out from the line. By the way, Chandler called out Gaethje and Connor. And I mean, those are two big money fights for Michael Chandler. That's going back for the knock on. And it will now be the FIJIAN Drua who have got themselves the scrum feed about 15 metres out from their line. And great dude watching in LA. US says USA Rugby League and Union fans. So welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing well. Must be early evening, maybe morning. What's the time of the USA at the moment? Do let me know. I'm terrible with time zones, definitely when it comes to America, because like everywhere else is kind of around that 10 to 12 hours. And then America is just a little bit further. I think it's about 18 hours or something along those lines. So do let me know, but I am happy to see you here, mate. And hope you are enjoying. But 25 minutes through at the moment, they're talking to Corey Jane, ex-winger for the Hurricanes. Currently 15 minutes left of this first half. We'll have to wait and see how it's hungover. Says Gareth there. And also we have got the DC Rugby 7 torch on Sky Sports 4. Are we up to round 8 or round 10? So it's 9:03 p.m. So I think I was wrong on both chords, wasn't I? Because I said it was early evening, which I guess at a stretch could be 9 p.m., although I was more referring to about 6 or 7, and then also the morning. So I need to work on my time zones. So yeah, it must be a few hours behind at this stage. And also I'm back. Says Betty Wagon, welcome back, mate. And now do let me know your full-time score predictions, ladies and gentlemen. 26 minutes through this game currently, and the Hurricanes, they have had about 90% of the possession, about 95% of territory. It's a big push from them, and they've been able to turn it over at scrum time. A clean turnover for them. And now backline movement, Balin Sullivan, great fend there on Rafa Tamata. He goes straight through, tries to find the offload. It's come off the foot of Billy Proctor, though, and that one is bulleted past the dead ball line. Okay, now it is going back for a 22 dropout. And also early evening, says Betty, and also can show me your lineups. And there says Brandon, one moment, we will go like this. And we will go like this. So this is the Hurricanes lineup for this game. Front row is very strong. We've already seen us suffer. Moore score himself a try in this game. And then Isaiah Walker-Leawera. Justin Sanks has been very prominent throughout the early stages of this matchup. And also Tyler Laviska on debut. And Perenara, he is the captain. Balin Sullivan playing well. And also we're seeing quite a bit of Josh Morby and Salisi Reasi. Then for the FIJIAN Drua, their lineup, I have to say that out of all the players on the field, Salawa's been looking impressive in the breakdown. But also, wow, that's a big shot on the knees. I think it's going to become an advantage now. And now Salisi Reasi, ball on the outside of Billy Proctor. And that will be the try for the Hurricanes. Boy, that was a massive shot on Aidan Morgan's legs. He got bent backwards and flipped upside down. So hopefully he is all right. Then Kuravoli is actually not in the field of play anymore due to his injury. So instead, it is going to be Nawai, who did come off the bench, and also 38-24 to the Canes, 47-12 to the Canes. And also we have got there, what day is it for you? Says Gareth, I believe he will be sitting on the 7th of May, if I'm not wrong there. I was like, yeah, hello, mate. So here's a Betty Wagon there as well. But it was a nice backline. Jeez. I think Aidan Morgan, unfortunately for him, he slightly jumped into the tackle, which did cause that momentum flip for him. But Billy Proctor able to score, and that is another try for the Hurricanes. Currently, as we do sit, they have got themselves the bonus point. And we'll go like this, and we will go like this. Like they're saying, Aidan Morgan, luckily he has got up. So that is good news because he got flipped. And that one also May 7th, 9:05 p.m. And there's his USA Rugby League and Union fan. And there's over Aidan Morgan now. He is about to line up this kick. Close to the touchline. It's not going to be the easiest of kicks for today. Definitely not with the wind factor in Wellington and Hamish. If I'm going all in, who's winning, Gaethje or Oliveira? And there it says Aidan. I will not tell you because I did say that you should give yourself a timeout for your account. But now that one has gone over. A brilliant kick from Aidan Morgan. And now it is going to be sitting 19 points to the Hurricanes and 0. Jeez. He's been hit on the knees. And luckily for him, he did kind of bend up and then go down, and Aidan, I'll never miss. And there it says Aidan. And also where I've got there, it's 4:06 p.m. for me. So here's Ali Fresh there. So you must be also in New Zealand, maybe, if I'm not wrong. Do let me know. But 30 minutes through this game currently. And Nawai is actually going back off the field, and Kuravoli replaces him. Now Salisi Rayasi going to be back in his base, and he goes forward. Doesn't quite link up, though, and that is one thing that Salisi Rayasi, you'd have to say, maybe is something that he needs to work on a little bit, is finding that pass. It may seem far out. So it's still Saturday in the US. Yes, indeed, and also we look at the knock run. It's said 42-15 for this matchup. One moment, we will go like this and like this. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I am still getting affected by hay fever, sadly, because of all the pollen that is in the air. And it's also overcast, which doesn't really help too much. Although I'm now Perenata sitting 40 metres out. Tyrell Lomax passes it back into the hands of Josh Morby. Now Perenata. Oh, Sandstone's gone through his hands, but it did go backwards. Now Salisi Rayasi. Once again, now he's found the offload. Beautifully done. And now Tyler Lubska does continue to drive forward, and also 56-24 is the prediction from Brandon there. Now Morgan does receive that ball again. It is a penalty advantage currently. And also we get the Hurricanes, says David, and also Hawke's Bay region, says Ali Fresh there. And now it is going back for the initial penalty, 31 minutes through this game. And the Hurricanes, I believe they'll take on the corner once again. Yes, Perenata points for the corner player, leaving the feet. And it's a bit of a shame that there have been so many penalties against the Fijian Drua early on, because I mentioned about their discipline side of things, Al. If they got it right early, they would be able to really have a good impact going into the later stages of this game, but they are yet to really find that perfect momentum that they are after. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport channel. It is our second channel. We do post previews over there, and we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you do want to help us out, it is hugely appreciated. Can you read my question messages? And there we have got question one, who is going to be doing a podcast with me, says Brandon. That is a very good question. And I guess you will need yourself a co-host at some stage if you are doing a podcast with multiple people. They won another draw crowd, and Fiji was spectacular versus the Highlanders. Absolutely beautiful. Exactly right. It was just insane, the atmosphere. And I wish that game between Moana Pacifica and the Fijian Drua was also taking place in Fiji. I'm about to sneeze again. I do see Tui Whangalele has been taken off the field, and that is for Chris Namimbi. And also, where's John Dykes at? Says Gareth, I don't know whether or not he's got any accounts left at this stage. Been through quite a few at this point in time, but that one has gone into touch now, and it will be about 15 metres out from the line. And also, me and you are going to be doing one. You're not busy. Then when says Brandon there as well. Yeah, I don't know whether or not I have got time, unfortunately, to squeeze in a podcast at this stage with the season. Morby, great Finn. He goes in for his second try, and that will be another one for the Hurricanes. This is becoming extremely one-sided for this matchup. And it is another try to Josh Morby. Doing extremely well there. And now Rava Tamara, unfortunately, just missing that tackle when he needed to make it. But he got fended in the face, which always makes it quite difficult to be able to make the tackles. And Balin Sullivan goes off to Morby, scores the try, and the Hurricanes take a bit more of a lead. Hay fever does suck, unfortunately. And also we have got there, go the Kane, says Paddy Wagon. Now Aidan Morgan going to be lining up this kick once again, sitting 24-0. It's got 2 from 3 tonight. We'll be looking to add another one to his list. And also, when it is too much rugby on next month or 2 months, says Brandon, I would say probably all. It's a tricky one because the finals are coming up for a lot of the competitions, but then we've got international rugby and then the rugby 7 side of things as well. So I'd say probably the next 2 months are probably the most hectic period we've got until maybe November or somewhere around there. But now that is going to be the try and the conversion. And the Hurricanes, they are now sitting 26-0 up against the Fijian Drua. This game is getting just a little bit more one-sided. Also, wait till he get banned again. I think anytime him and Sebastian are in the same chat and anytime he writes like a message multiple times in a row, Sebastian just goes, gone, pretty much. Which is probably fair enough because a lot of the time it is just the same question about 20 times. And the chat, that one's going to be kicked high and it's gone out on the full for the Fijian Drua, and it just goes from bad to worse for them. They haven't been able to find their momentum in the early stages of this game, and they are sitting 26-0 down at this point in time. Like they're saying, it's just not going right for the Fijian Drua, and also came to smash the Fijians, and now I'm busy with work and other work, and then the game's basically over. There's Aiden. Yeah, it is certainly a lot more one-sided than I was expecting, but hopefully there is a bit of a fight back from the Fijian Drua. I always say that if one side does manage to score themselves 26 points in the first half, the other side has got the potential to be able to do the same. And the second, and did Will Jordan score a try or a few last night? He did manage to get himself 3 last night, I believe it was. Was it 3 or 2? He did get at least 2 anyway. I work for LA Giltinis and Major League Rugby, driving to San Diego next weekend to see us against Nonu. And there, you work for them. So I guess what type of job for them have you got? USA Rugby League and Union Fan. Do let me know. I love watching the MLR. I think it's an up-and-coming competition coming around the world, and I'm looking forward to seeing the rugby really develop in the USA. And the near future Billy Proctor has not quite found the pass, but now it's out to Josh Morley, ball on the inside to Horson, and he does not quite get it now. It's in the hands of Kitioni Ratu. He finds the offload to Upper Salome Voto, who does end up putting it down and does knock it on. As we have got there, Hamish. Which team you are putting your money to win this league? Pick one, your favorite, says Coding. So for me, it's either the Blues or the Brumbies, I think, at this stage for me. Or maybe Crusaders. They've got a good chance as well, I would say. Now it's a knock on out on the wing from Duplessis Karefi, and it will be becoming a turnover on the ground, and it's a penalty now against Justin Sangster. Quick tap by the Fijian Drua. And also, what is your big mistake in gold? And there says Brandon, my big mistake. It's a tough one. And 9 changes in the lineup costing the Drua, says Lake Show. So, yeah, certainly quite a rotation in the squad. And I think that's kind of been a prominent factor throughout the season. Oh, Manasa Solo. In fact, it's Tawake does end up putting the ball down. Okay, so they're going back for an initial penalty in favour of the Fijian Drua. In fact, no, they've said not rolling away as the penalty there. And I was like, yeah, just had a look. He did get 3. And there says Aiden. So, yeah, he got 3. Lestafan Nuku got himself a first half hat trick, which was very impressive from him. Now Caleb Muncie will be kicking this one for the touchline, and also not looking good for the Drua. Makes one wonder if the rotation blew too much. And then also, thank God, Aussie team stepped up this season along with Moana Pacific and the Drua Super Rugby. It's been very spicy this year. I 100% agree. And that's the thing. A lot of teams or a lot of supporters from New Zealand were like, we want the competition to be closer. And it's actually like, I guess they're getting their wish because this competition, I mean, the Brumbies are still sitting in second. They're defeating New Zealand sides in New Zealand, which just makes it that much more impressive. That's close to a turnover. Unable to do so, though. And now Kuravoli passes it off into the hands of Nasila Sila. Currently 30 metres out from the line. He is tackled by Tyler Lufska. Now waiting for it to recycle quickly. Kuravoli goes off to Caleb Muntz. It's a great low tackle on him by Duplessis Karefi, who we haven't really seen. Oh, it's going to be another penalty against them, unfortunately. That was for sealing off against Upper Solomi Vota. Now the Hurricanes get themselves another penalty. This is rough, isn't it, for the Fijian Drua? Unfortunately, they just can't get themselves out of giving away penalties after about 5 or 10 phases, or actually more like 5. In fact, now that I think about it, it hasn't really been 10 phases too many times throughout this matchup, trying to keep that ball in the field of play, but it has gone into touch, and it will be the line out now for the Hurricanes. A moment. I do apologise for having to blow my nose so often, ladies and gentlemen, but yeah, hay fever, I hate it. There we go. Yeah, I sorted out, but now it's going to be the rolling maul in favour of the Hurricanes. It's gone down. It's an awkward bending one for Duplessis Kirifi, and it's going to become actually a turnover for them. So nicely done by the FIJIAN Drua. And also, we have got there. What a boring fight, to be honest. And there says, and so is that I assume that is Rose Namanunes versus Carla Esparza, maybe. Okay. So for dissent is actually what the penalty is for. So it was collapsed. Then TJ Perenata, as the captain, was pretty much swearing at the referee, I believe. So the referee said, nah, we'll stuff you then. I'll just put it as a penalty rather than the scrum. And as the captain, you probably don't want to be the player who's getting done for dissent. I feel like that's probably not the best example for a team. Like they say, last minute of the first half, one last opportunity to be able to go over for a Hurricanes team being average. Even the Drua can't seem to score with the self-inflicted errors whenever they are in possession. Says Sammy Souza. Now Kuravoli goes back to Mats Ravatamala. Can they get one before the end of the first half? Kitioni Ratu stepping on the inside up to halfway now. One last opportunity. Like I mentioned, it's a loose ball from Kuravoli. Almost puts it down. And now instead, Chris Namimbi, who came off the bench not too long ago. So penalty for Backchat. Bad move. Says Sammy Souza there as well. Yeah, it's one of those ones you just don't need it, really. Like, you've got all momentum. It was going to be a scrum that's kicked in behind. I think this one is going to go into touch. Yes, it does. So that will now be halftime between the two sides. And it is 26-0 going into the changing sheds for the second half. The Hurricanes doing very nicely. Morby, 2 tries, 15th minute and 32nd minute. Asafa Moore scoring. And then Billy Proctor was the other man who was able to get himself a try throughout this game. But this is actually the only game of Super Rugby for this Sunday. Next week, it is the same thing with just the one game, and that will be the Chiefs taking on the Rebels. And that contest should be a very exciting one. See how the Rebels fire back after their game up against the Blues. We've had some one-sided contests throughout this round compared to what we saw the round before, where every game other than Hurricanes versus Brumbies was close, because it was the Brumbies who were able to defeat the side, which I've now forgotten, the Hurricanes. Okay, Storm and Dragons are playing currently in the NRL, and the Sharks versus the Warriors is actually taking place at 5:35. That'll be interesting to see how that game goes. 2 halves game, perhaps, especially when the Drua can sometimes be a second half team, says Sammy Souza. And I guess it's that big question of, is it too much of a mountain to climb now? Have they created too much of a hole to dig their way out of? We're going to have to wait and see, but I'm confident that the Drua are scoring at least once in this one. I was right. They did keep them scoreless in the second half, or the first half, sorry, from Daniel there as well. So you were correct for that statement. There we go. My nose is getting quite sore from having to blow it every 5 seconds currently, I'll be honest. But luckily, I think other than like sinus and hay fever, I'm all good. I'm actually I'm a bit tired from last night because I did end up staying up for a majority of the night watching the Champions Cup, but that was 100% worth it because we got to see some insane rugby being played between Munster and Toulouse. That game going for 100 minutes, neither side being able to split it. Also, we have got that one. How many people found out about the Kiwi lads from Mark? I did. And there says Gareth there. I assume that is 2 Cents Rugby, possibly, because that's the thing. Him, Gareth Mason as well, like those two were like the pioneers of rugby YouTube. And I think it was because of them that like some of you guys recommended that we start doing live streams on the channel for rugby. And ever since then, we've probably done about 200, maybe even more of them. And also, but you've got Gaines. I can also be second half team too. So here's Paddy there. So yeah, it's going to be a good old battle between both sides for the second half. And also we have got there, Drua's backline is bad. And yeah, so who would you replace in that backline out of curiosity? I know that Upper Salome Vorta hasn't had the best game so far throughout this game. Maybe, I mean, Habossi is brilliant, but he's not there for this game, so that makes it very tricky for them to be able to find that option. And I think it's really just finding a fly half combo that works with your centres. That's going to be big, because Matatiwa, another player that they did add into the lineup for this matchup. Currently, they've had about maybe 20% of the ball, if not maybe even less than that for that first half, which is certainly not a stat that they will be too happy with, as they will want to get their ball as often as possible and try and create some real opportunities for the Fijian Drua in this one. I don't know why it still says first half. The first half is over at this point in time, and it is half time as we currently sit. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport channel. It is our second channel where we do post our previews for Super Rugby over there. And also, we've got a few other videos coming up on there in the future. But this game currently, you have to say, unless something drastic changes, there is a chance that the Hurricanes, unfortunately, could score 50 points here up against the Fijian Drua. And I don't think that is what the Fijian Drua at all will be after in this contest. They need to fight back. They need to score first, and then from there just continue to build in. And it didn't like Munster fans getting loud when Toulouse fans were kicking. And there says USA Rugby League and Union fan. And I think, yeah, that's the thing. They were nervous for that one, I guess is the best way of describing it. But yeah, it did seem rough that it was completely silent when Munster were kicking. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe they needed to make a little bit more noise in there. And also we have the Druas playing too slow, says Ashley there. And yeah, that normal Fijian Drua offloading game that we normally get to see just wasn't quite linking up for them. It was in the breakdown, some very good one. And also we got there, Mr. Nobody has said, you're in there. Yeah, I think a little bit at this stage. Currently 26-0 at this stage, the way that it is sitting. And also Morby, he was able to get himself 2 tries. And also, yeah, I was on one of his watch-alongs that he suggested Kiwi Lads for commentary. And there says Gareth, yeah, I guess you've been here almost ever since, which is hugely appreciated that you have stuck around and listened to me ramble for a lot. And also 26 equals love. And there, 26 love for that one. Of course, with a tennis player as your picture, I thought, is that actually, now that I think about it, is that one of the first times that we've had it called love for that one? Because I know that love is in tennis. But I think that's one of the first times. So, David, you have just taken the channel's, I guess, first, I was going to say the first love, but that doesn't really work, does it? And also too much looping passes, play short and flat, says Ashley. And they've got a massive 4-pack. So you just need to use that 4-pack the way that they normally do, just throw them at the line. Chirika Davita, as much as the Hurricanes would like to think they can shut him down, he is huge. So he will lure in probably 2 defenders. Then from there, if we can find the quick offload, get it off into the hands of one of those other guys right next to the breakdown. Apasalomi Vota, Ratu, give him space, but not off that looping pass like you mentioned, so that he actually has time to be able to step. Because currently he waits for the ball, then it comes down, and then there's a player right in front of him already because he's got Wes Horson, who is marking up with him in this game. And also they have got Salisi Dayasi out on the other one in test virginity. This is the Arif there currently. I wonder if this will say halftime now rather than 43. There we go. It has changed to halftime. But there is 40 minutes left of this game, ladies and gentlemen. And it is going to be a testing time for the Fijian Drua next week. They'll be taking on Moana Pacifica, whereas the Hurricanes next week, they will have themselves the Waratahs, I believe, are their next challenge. And I am very curious to see which way that match does end up going, with both sides sitting inside of the top 8. But at the moment, Australian sides in this round have been looking pretty impressive at this point in time. Yeah, we've got one more game of the Champions Cup later on tonight, and that will be the matchup between Racing 92 and South Sharks. I'm hoping to do that matchup, but by then I probably would have been up for about 30 hours or so that might be a little bit rough. So if I am too tired, I might have to crash for that game. But we will be back next week with both of the semi-finals and also all the Super Rugby fixtures that are taking place for next week of the competition. And it is getting to the business end of the competition now, with the games getting closer and closer to the end. And also we have got there who is commentator BC, and there as well says Mike, who is commentator BC. I assume, is that me or the game? Because at the moment for the game, I believe at the halftime chat, they have actually got Jeff Wilson as one of the main ones. But for the actual game, I don't know who's commentating. Now I think about it, I think I've been talking over them the whole time. Maybe Moz Muliaina might be there. And also talking about tennis, Jan Djokovic Just bugger off already. No one likes him, says Gareth there as well. And yeah, it's an interesting one. He seems to be getting his name in the headlines more often than not for things that he probably doesn't really want his name in the headlines for, as we currently sit. But Josh Morby, brilliant first half. 2 tries, 78 metres gained for him. And also he has been able to beat a few defenders along the way. So he will be looking to try and do that in the second half. Him and Balin Sullivan, those 2 guys are the young up-and-coming talent of the Hurricanes. I think that is Cam Roigard. No, it's not. It's actually the replacement number 23, Higgins, who is in the background now. So Lisa Ayasi looks like he's got quite a banged-up nose currently. I've got hot chips at the ground. I feel like that is the perfect thing to have for a day in Wellington when it is quite cold. He's got a haircut similar to that of, I think it is Nico Kerwin, isn't it? Where it's got that kind of front fringe going on. But 26-0 as we currently sit in this game, ladies and gentlemen. We're still a little bit longer before we get into the second half. But do let me know who you think will be the first try scorer of the second half. These are the guys who will be coming off the bench, although a couple changes already having to be made. And that was Chris Mimbi. He is out there now for the Fijian Drua, and also Nawai is out there for a little bit of time, but he has now gone back off the field. I think you got to get Ratawe on as soon as possible for this matchup, just because I think he will be able to have a real impact for the later stages. Sorry, I forgot to unmute myself there. That was an accident. But yeah, calls for the drive from Justin. And also, morning from South Africa, says Carl, welcome in, mate. Hope you're doing well. And also, we have got their great energy. You're doing an awesome job. Sub says USA Rugby League and Union fan. Thank you very much, mate. Hugely appreciated. And I will mention, I don't always have hay fever. That is one thing that unfortunately the sneezing has just been anytime it's overcast. But we do make it work. We just have to mute every once in a while. But yeah, I do appreciate you being here. And we have got plenty more Super Rugby URC. I do want to cover some of the MLR at some stage in the future, which will be quite cool. And also, so why is it called South Island, not West Island? It's more West and South. And there says Gareth. Well, it's a good question. And I guess the best way of looking at it is, I know that someone mentioned it was actually going to be called New Leinster and New Munster, New Zealand, as it was discovered by an Irishman, but then they did decide to go now South Island, North Island, I think was the story by that RRC. Needs to pass more and better timing. There being times where if he passed, the Hurricanes would have scored, I agree. And I mentioned it when he did have one of his big runs down the wing, then he didn't pass. I think it was to a Safa Mua, who was on the outside, and he just needs to really, I guess, hone that craft of being able to get the draw and pass going. And to be honest, it's probably the difference between him making the All Blacks and missing out. And it sounds brutal to say, but you've got to be able to find that distributed ball at the right time, because it's all about that vision. Yes, you can be the biggest, strongest winger in the world, but if you can't find a pass, like, it's just not going to quite work out for you. So I think if he can find that kind of passing game, then I think he could be in the All Blacks. But until then, I think they will be leaving him out. I still can't believe a penalty shootout from last night's game. Yeah. Like 100 minutes where the teams could not be split, and then they go into 6 shots each. Well, it was going to be 6 shots each, although Mike Haley, no, who was it? Healy, wasn't it? Healy did end up missing both of his, and Connor Murray missing one as well. And hey, Gareth, how's it, brother? And there it says Johnny Blaze, or sorry, not Johnny Blaze, says David there. And I was working, I'm jumping between Canelo versus Bivol, boxing, great fight. And there says Justin, and I'm hoping, ready for this pun, I'm hoping there will be a great fight from the Fijian Drua in the second half. That one wasn't as good. I kind of hyped it up, and then it just was a sentence, wasn't it? But I'm looking forward to the second half. I'm looking forward to seeing what Fijian Drua can do, because they certainly, like, we know how much potential they've got. And if they make that early sub of Onisi Ratawe, make him go out on the field, put him, I would actually say for Upper Salomi Vota, I think, as the man I would replace currently, because he just hasn't quite had the cleanest of games throughout the early stages, unfortunately. But now, second half, first try scorer, I'm going to say it is Togi Otama, who does end up scoring. I'm watching the rugby and the UC at the same time. Says Carl there. And I believe there's also an NRL game going on, isn't there? As we currently sit the Storm versus the Dragons. Then the Warriors are playing a little bit later on. So we'll have to wait and see how it ends up going. for that matchup. I think I'll be watching that one, although it depends on what time George ends up coming round, because I think he wants to today. So we'll just quickly check to see if he's messaged me. He has not as of yet. So we will wait and see. I'll probably message him with about 10 minutes left of this game and see whether or not he is working today, which he might be, seeing as it isn't really raining at this stage on the Sunday. But now the two sides about to make their way back out onto the park. 2 tries for Josh Morby, 1 for Asafa Moa, and 1 for Billy Proctor. And the Drua paying $101. That's a lot. I guess the big thing would be that kind of winning margin, or I think it's called the handicap, how it's like depending on how much a side is going to lose by. But territory, 82% for the Hurricanes and also 63% for the possession side of things. Time in opposition, 22, 4 minutes 41 at the moment for the Hurricanes compared to 15 seconds of the FIJIAN Drua. So they just need to get themselves down the field a little bit further, and they will give themselves a bit more of an opportunity. They've given away less penalties and was up since 3 a.m. my time. Too much sport on and bets going, says Carl there as well. And yeah, that's the thing. Currently, there's just too much on. Like, you can't almost fit it all in 24 hours. Like, I wish I could watch more NRL, AFL, and NBA, as well as another one. I like to watch a bit more of the UFC, but it always overlaps. And that's what it also says, is there a road between the island, or is it separate? It is a separate island, so it has got the Cook Strait in between the two islands, and you're probably looking at maybe an hour boat ride. I don't want to say an exact amount just in case I have got it wrong. One moment. North to South Island time. Ferry time, you look, okay, it's actually a lot more. It's 3.5 hours between the North and the South Island. If you do go by ferry, or you can just take a plane. Abossi will score the first try of the second half, says Anoke. And there, the sad thing is, like, I was gutted when I saw this. He isn't actually in this lineup for the FIJIAN Drua. I couldn't believe it because he's been so brilliant. And I think they're resting him for the Moana Pacifica game, but I wish he was out there because I feel like he would be able to change this game around. Same with Frank Lamani. No Frank Lamani for this game for the FIJIAN Drua. I think someone mentioned they've made about 8 changes in this game. Apparently, Manimbi's still in the starting lineup. But yeah, Habossi, he's had an absolutely dream start to his Super Rugby career. And I hope USA gets Rugby World Cup in 2031. It would be massive for the code. Attendances would be really good. More money, exposure around the world, says USA Rugby League and Union Fan. And yeah, I'm hoping they do get it, because I think Australia have got 2027, don't they? Kind of almost locked in. And I feel like the US, to have it over there, like you said, it would just end up increasing the exposure around the MLR, and also just be able to really keep on promoting the game in the US. Because the thing is, the US have got some brilliant athletes in the 7 side of things, and Union, they will just keep on growing as they keep on having a competitive competition that they can play on, or a 45-minute flight from Wellington to Nelson. And there says Nov Mum, and also, I don't know why the Drua keeps changing their team every week. Why not stick to that same team last week? So centers are useless in a halfback. It's terrible. There's Cruz in there. That is going to be a penalty to the Hurricanes there for the player leaving his feet. It was Meri Dede Alangi that they have got there. But that's the sad thing, is I don't know what the reasoning is. I think it's to do with resting players so that they don't get too fatigued. But the other side of things is, like, these guys, they'll want to play every week, and they do keep on making so many changes. And if you're going to change, I feel like you've got to go with, like, maybe four changes maximum for me in a starting lineup is still a relatively big change. But to go with 8 and 1, and also I hope nobody betted on the women's title fight. Such a boring fight. And there says Carl Peterson, and also we'll get there, Mish. Are you going to do the South Africa versus England test? Are they played in South Africa or England? Gareth, do let me know. And also, what dates are they? But hopefully we will be able to squeeze in some of it. Now, backline movement, Morby goes off the horse and he scores a try in the corner. It looked a little bit too easy for the Hurricanes. And Wes Horson has been able to go in for the try. There we go. 42 minutes in, and Wes Horson has scored the first try of the second half. This one's just not going well for the FIJIAN Drua. I'm sad because last week in Suva, it was so close, but making so many changes, it was always going to be risky. It either works or it doesn't, and this time it certainly hasn't for the FIJIAN Drua. And I'm hoping they learn from this and come back stronger than ever up against Moana Pacifica. Keep themselves alive into this competition. Wes Hawson, he's just able to run it in. It's to watch out for all the hands flying at him for the high fives. But Wes Hawson is first try. And also, where will Hurricanes stand after this? They will still keep themselves in 7th for this one. And also, we have got there, I think the world already plays rugby. The exposure in the States will be great. Says David the Mod. Exactly right. I don't know how the time zones will go for us. I think they'll be better than the time zones in France, though. So we'll take it. As long as we get to do some games during the day and not just wake up at like 3 a.m. to do them, I am happy. And Hamish, we'll be back in a few. Need some Starbucks in my system, says Carl, so we will see a little bit later on. But now, Aidan Morgan lining up this kick from the touchline. Trying to make sure that this one just gets glided over. It's not going to be an easy kick, though, for the youngster Morgan. And like they're saying, the lights are starting to fire up at Sky Stadium. Oh, it's just away to the left-hand side. It almost had a little bit of a right-hand tail on it, but it does remain at 31-0 in favour of the Hurricanes. Hurricanes? Hurricanes. I always say Hurricanes, but he says Hurricanes. So I feel like I should call them the Hurricanes. But I'll say Hurricanes. That's easier. And now it is going to be 43.5 minutes through the Blues. They will be playing next week up against the Reds Crusaders, up against the Brumbies Hurricanes. They have got the Waratahs and FIJIAN Drua, says Peter there as well. I'm hoping we do get to see a try very soon. Unfortunately, though, kicking it out on the full there for the FIJIAN Drua, it's not working for them at the moment. And I feel bad because I want to see them succeed. But this game is certainly not one to remember for the FIJIAN Drua on the halfway line now. It is going to be a scrum feed for the Hurricanes. Currently, Debussy Karefi is sitting there in the loose foot tray. We haven't really seen him too much throughout, and also get some Vida. Starbucks is the devil. And there's his Gareth. Raro Tamara out on the wing. He's hardly touched the ball. Same with Kitioni Ratu out on the other side. Now it is going to be set. It's gone down in the front row. And it is going to be another scrum reset. I think Meri Derialangi, the captain there for the FIJIAN Drua, he knows that this game is not going well, but they need to find some sort of outcome in this game which involves them scoring at least 2 tries just to give themselves that little bit of confidence, because their next game it is up against Moana Pacifica. We're not going to be an easy side to beat, as they currently had a very close game with the Waratahs very recently. So we will go like this. And we'll go like this. And also, did you see what happened to Tony Ferguson? I did hear about a head kick, something along those lines. And Michael Chandler was able to win that one, which is huge. Because I guess Tony Ferguson, you don't really get used to seeing him get knocked out. So I haven't seen the matchup yet, but I am hopefully going to be able to watch it sometime later on tonight. But now it's going to be a big drive. Nicely done. And it's now an advantage in favour of the Hurricanes. It's going to be Josh Morby once again with a good attack around Wes Hawson. Does end up going down. I think someone's boot might have just got him thrown off to the side of the field. Now protecting that ball nicely. The Hurricanes sitting 35 metres out. Xavier Numia tackled low by, it was the number, I want to say it was the number 2. Yes, it was. Tokio Tama, who was able to make the tackle. Blake Gibson was looking for the offload, unable to find one. 40 metres out after 5 phases now. Xavier Numia back to Morgan. Beautiful ball off into the hands of the youngster Piranata. Now is not quite able to link up. I should mention the youngster was actually Tyler Lipska, not TJ Piranata. He is a little bit older than Lipska, who is on debut for this game. And it's going to be the penalty to the FIJIAN Drua. Do they take this one quickly or do they slow it down? And Starbucks coffee is in there, says Obi. Do we have Starbucks here in New Zealand? I guess we probably do in the bigger regions. We certainly don't have it where we are in New Zealand. Like, we don't even have a McDonald's, KFC, any of those ones. We have a fish and chip shop and a supermarket. And at the moment, looks like Dane Coles, he might be not too far away from making his way out on the field. Same with Jackson Garden Batchup. They've also got Owen Franks, who will be coming off the bench, and also Drua don't have a chance here. Unfortunately for this game, it doesn't seem like it's going to work out for the FIJIAN Drua. I just hope they get some form of points on the board. And we're drawing their first test 17th to 21st of August. Oh, okay. So I feel like that should be hopefully doable for those ones, because we are going to be doing New Zealand versus England. So that will be working out pretty nicely. But now Vota taken off the field for Rotave. That was the sub that I said that they should make at halftime. They waited 6 minutes, but then they have now made it now. And hopefully Onisi Rotave will be able to have some sort of impact off that bench. Now it's going to be taken nicely by the FIJIAN Drua. Hanging on to it. It is in the hands of Sila. Sila has been called as a tackle, so they do have to release him. Now Nawai going back across, almost dropped there by, it was Tawake this time. It is now dropped for the FIJIAN Drua. And now Perenara goes back across. Morgan off to Proctor. Salisi Rayasi, Balin Sullivan on the outside now. Josh Morby does get himself another carry. It's almost turned over in the breakdown. No, that's just been able to hang on to it. It's gone through the hands of a Safa Moore. Now tapped up. Aidan Morgan was tackled a little bit too high there. Now around the side, Blake Gibson does start to get a bit of space. 25 out. Perenara now going to the short side. Off to Josh Morby. He has run over 100 metres. Anyone know what that was going on with Fiji? And I covered this morning says, yes, something has not worked out for them. And I think it is those 8 changes that they've made in their 4-pack, or not their 4-pack, sorry, the 8 changes that they made in their side. I think it was too many to try and reshuffle and find chemistry quickly. Nice offload from Salisi Rayasi. Tyler Lovska now, he's getting close. Finds the offload up to Wilson. And Wes Wilson scores his second. That was brilliantly done by the youngster. That wasn't even a word. Brilliantly is what I was trying to say. But Wes Wilson has been able to score that one in the 48th minute of the game now. And he has been able to get himself 2 tries in 6 minutes. And the Hurricanes now have got themselves a 36-0 lead. And looking forward to some cricket in my life, says Gareth there. And yeah, it's coming up just around the corner. Or some more cricket. I've been missing my test matches. Like the IPL, it's great. But I just love the test match cricket side of things as well. Lovishka, he's a brilliant player. Like, this is the first time that I've seen the man, and I think we're going to see him a lot more in the future. He's really cemented himself as a possible option for that number 8 jersey. I mean, as soon as Artie Savi is out, get that man in the kit. And if he's not signed for a Bunnings NBC side, he is certainly going to be signed for one soon, because found that perfect offload. And for real, their coffee is actually trash. And there says Obi, says Gareth to Obi. So Salisi Rayasi found the pop pass and the offload at the right time, something that we were mentioning about in the first half. Then he popped it up to Wes Wilson, who goes, and in Perenara, he very much so appreciated that one from the young number 8. Now Morgan lines up the kick, and he does get it over. So now the score is 38-0 in favour of the Hurricanes. And I do see that Owen Franks has made his way out onto the field. It's been a while since we've seen that man on New Zealand soil playing rugby. I initially, when I saw that he had signed for the Hurricanes, I thought it was as a coach, but he's actually as a player now getting his opportunity as replacing Tyrell Lomax. Salisi Rayasi, brilliant kick. Sensational kick from Salisi Rayasi. And now it is going to be about 35 metres out from the FIJIAN Drua line. They are going to have themselves a line out, but Manasa Solo will be coming out onto the field. That is for Tawake, who are starting at number 3. And alongside that, I think other than they've made Rotave sub and also Nawai sub. I think those are the only other 2. Ball is loose. Perenara jumps on it. Now off to Duplessis Karifi, so they've been able to clean up that ball once again, the Hurricanes. Alan Franks, jeepers, how old is he now? I think he's like 38 or something along those lines. Surely not that old. One moment. How old is Owen Franks? How old is Owen Franks? 34. Okay, so he's not quite as old as I said that he was. Isaiah Wakaliawere. He's going to score the try. And it was just another gap. And also, Franks is an expert scrum manager. Don't underestimate him. Says Obi there. I mean, I'm not really underestimating him. I thought he signed as a scrum coach, to be honest, for them. But he is still out there, still running around. And now we will go like this. And we will go like this. And the thing is, I think it was more of the fact that I hope he signs as one of the coaches for the 4-pack after he retires. And if they don't sign him, I feel like it's a wasted opportunity, because that man has a lot of knowledge. Zai Wakaliawere scores it after 50 minutes there. Does end up going in for another try. And now the Hurricanes, they are up to 43 points. 34 my age, says Gareth there as well. I think you're looking a bit younger there. You watch Fiji scrum collapse, and that is if they get a scrum, because at the moment they are just breaking the line pretty often. Yeah, 51 minutes through, 43-0. This game has gone drastically wrong for the FIJIAN Drua, unfortunately. Now, Aidan Morgan to line up this one. What's Ben Franks up to, Obi? Is he still... I know that they were both playing for one of the sides in the Premiership, weren't they? But now, do you know if Ben Franks is still playing or is he retired? And also, maybe their draw will learn a lot from this game, says Mr. Billy. They certainly will. And I think the coaches will also learn that you shouldn't make so many changes to a starting lineup if it almost worked last week. Now, that one has gone over, and that will now be making the score 45-0 for the Hurricanes. It just keeps on extending, but Isaiah Wakaliwere was able to score himself a try there. And also, we go there. Well, there goes my prediction. I said the Hurricanes by 8, so don't feel too bad, Nov Mum. I thought it was going to be close. I almost tipped Fiji to win, but because they didn't have Abossi and also Lamani, I said that it would go back in favour of the Hurricanes. That's why I don't do many predictions. But now, has been kicked off short. Hatita's made his way out onto the field, I do see as well. And that is replacement for number 1. Now going back to Vena Mafaleo off to TJ Bernardo, who kicks it in behind. And now almost gets a 50-22. I said 42-12. And I think Hurricanes might hit 60 at this stage. Little chip and chase there from Asafamu. It doesn't quite work out for him in the FIJIAN Drua. They've got this ball back in their hands now. And also we have there, but mine's looking too low. And also 43-0. What's happening with the Drua, Hamish? It's just for some reason, it's not backwards by Isaiah Wakaliwere. They are going to say play on for now. But it's been really not having enough of the position to be able to make their way through as often as they would like to. That's knocked on the ground as well. That has been another big mistake. What do they say? Okay, they've said that it wasn't a knock-on. And I hope Teller subs in soon. Says Mr. Billy now. It's going to be the backline movement. Billy Proctor does receive that one. Tackle by Rava Tamara. And also the captain, Miri Dirialangi. Been able to make the tackle. Now 55 metres out from the FIJIAN Drua line. I'm going to quickly look up Ben Franks and see whereabouts he has ended up at this stage, because I know that he was close to a retirement at one stage. Ben Franks, current club. There we go. Ben Franks. He's still at the Northampton Saints. Oh, no. Linked up with the Northampton Saints for the 2018-2019 season. So he's currently aged 38 years old. So I think he is the one that I was thinking of who has retired. And also you must have got a good rest today, Hamish. You look fresh as, brother. Says David the Mod. I think it's just momentum. Everyone also, don't remind me of my prediction. I thought it was. And there says David the Mod. And also we've got the 3 New Zealand teams beat the opposition by 20 CCX. So now they are making a few changes. Dane Coles, Caleb Delaney, and also Cam Roygaard. But I managed to get 2 hours of sleep for myself. So about 2 hours, woke up, did the Mother's Day arrangements, and then ended up, Diri Alangi spray on the ankle with some and fresh airs. Love that Kiwi lingo, says Gareth there as well. And it was finished now, by the way. What a boring fight, by the way, Rose. I lost, I put 300 on Gaethje. And there says Aiden. Here you go. So I guess it would have gone for decision, wouldn't it, for Carla Esparza. Well, the likely my team yesterday scored a total of 71 points in Rugby Wonder. If Canes can get that high, says Daniel Cox. I know that the Blues were working on trying to get themselves a possible new record, but I think they just missed out by being able to get all the way to the top. But currently now in this game, it is sitting with a score of 45-0 to the Hurricanes. Ben is actually Scarlet scrum coach. There we go. Okay, so one of them was the scrum coach. See, I feel like Owen's got to do the same. Imagine having those two brothers at 2 different clubs, and then those 2 clubs go head-to-head at scrum time. Like, that would be an awesome battle. I think this is the first time we're going to get to see Dane Coles, Davida Mafaleo, and also Owen Franks in action at scrum time, and it will be the FIJIAN Drua scrum feed. Going to be the replacement here. No why about to feed this ball on, but he's certainly going to have his hands full here for Mele Tuni, the youngster. Oi, how are we doing today? Says Sebastian, doing very well, mate. Hope you are well as well. FIJIAN Drua not doing so well at this point in time. It's a good push there. The ball bounces out the back for the FIJIAN Drua, and they have still got a Rava Tamara. It's got that one. TJ Bernardo. In fact, just Duplessis Karefi almost got straight on the ball. Unable to get the turnover, though. And the FIJIAN Drua, they just need some possession in this game. That will be drastically improving their chances. And also Graham into right. And then Ben is actually Scarlet scrum coach. And yeah, I do like when rugby players, ex-rugby players that is, do sign as coaches, just from all of the things that they've learned. Balin Sullivan's now got that ball. It has been turned over once again. At one moment, Hay Fever is kicking in again. And that one has gone into touch, so it does mean now that there is going to be the line out. Dane Coles now. He has got this line out throw, Coles, and they have just said that they believe he's the captain currently. He's been out for the whole season. Comes back and now gets the captaincy. It's a good throw straight down the middle. Now Roygaard goes off to Hurson, who was first receiver. Back to Aidan Morgan. He needs to stop jumping into tackles because he's going to hurt himself badly. So Salisi Rayasi down the wing now, back in the pace. He will drive over. And Salisi Rayasi gets his first try of the game, and that is the 50 for the Hurricanes. Now Salisi Rayasi, too strong. And he has gone in for the try. 57 minutes into this game. And we will go like this. And we will go like that as well. Salisi Rayasi, he's got a bleeding nose currently, but it was off the set play once again of the line out. That is actually the second time that they have scored off a set piece. And also we get there, bro. There's David the Mob there as well. I hope you are doing well, Sebastian. Is it? No. When is NXT Spring Break-In, Sebastian? Do let me know. I don't actually know, but I know Backlash is tomorrow. And at the moment, nice run from Salisi Rayasi down the wing, uses the power. But yeah, Aidan Morgan jumping into tackles is going to get him either into trouble or get him dropped on his head soon. Also, footy bomb pretty tough for the Drua. See Sebastian there as well, yeah. And at the moment, it just seems like nothing has quite gone their way in this matchup. And Salisi Rayasi, he's going to be taken off the field, and I believe that is now Riley Higgins. No, it's Jackson Garden Bishop, in fact, who they have decided to bring out, but it was a good performance from Salisi Rayasi. Now Aidan Morgan going to be lining up this kick from the touchline. Been kicking not too bad, 5 from 7. Make that 5 from 8. That one has gone away to the left, and each time that he has missed, it has actually been a little bit of a hook to the left-hand side. Also, I love Riley Higgins. Someday I'll be playing for the Hurricanes. Oh, so his friends actually printed out a massive picture of Riley Higgins, who sent him, or sent a Snapchat. And now, bro, WWE is fake. You should know that. And there says exactly, it is, but it's still a thing. Movies are fake. You watch them. Just a fact of life, isn't it? And I looked it up. Spring Break-In was on the 3rd. Oh, so I completely missed it. I have to probably watch it at some stage. Now Cam Roygaard going back into the pocket. Aidan Morgan kicks it up high. And now it's going to be taken beautifully by, it was the number 15, Taliga. Now running straight sideways. Unfortunately, running sideways probably isn't the best way to do it for the Fijian Drua. Currently, they do need to try and get themselves, it isn't fake. It's totally, AEW isn't fake. It's totally legit. You just look at what happened to Matt Hardy. Ask him how fake that concussion was, because that was a brutal blow on that and his head on the concrete. And now going to be going back across, sitting 40 meters out from the line now, and game over. And there says Aidan, yeah, currently 50-0, and this game is not what they would want it to sit at. Now it's going to be passed back once again now off into the hands of the Fijian Drua. Nice offload, too low. It's a knock on. Again, this is tough at the moment. This seems like everything that the Fijian Drua could have go wrong did go wrong here. And also the Warriors run sideways as well, says David the Mod. Yeah, they're playing next up against the Sharks. Movies are fake. You watched them. That was epic. Says Gareth there as well. Yeah, it's all entertainment, isn't it? Like, you don't go throughout a movie and go, not real. The Rock didn't actually jump off the top of that building and land on the ground. You know, it's like, it's just one of those ones that, like, it's all entertainment, like, in just different formats. And also, we have there, 6 and 9 is King, has made music. And there it says exact. Wait, so he's King, but he's also made new music. Okay, that makes sense. I was going to say, it's interesting to call someone a king and then say that they've made music. Anyway, Josh Morby, he's been brilliant throughout this game, throughout the early stages. And also, I mean, he's probably earned a well-deserved rest. And also, this game is just a pre-game for what's going to happen to the Warriors next. So here's Paddy Wagon. So is that the Warriors are going to beat the Sharks by 50, Paddy, or is it going to be the other way around? Probably the other way around, unfortunately, for them. And now Ikanaveri taking out how's Muntz going. So here's Wayne Muntz there. Oh, Same last name, any relation? Do let me know, Wayne. But he has been probably more quiet than he would have liked to be. We haven't really seen the ball in the hands of the Fijian Drua too often at all, sadly. And now it's a good run from Cam Roigard. But from what he's done, I don't think he's put a foot wrong. It's just more of the case of he hasn't really had enough opportunities to be able to really shine. I mean, he's had a couple good distributing passes throughout the matchup. 61 minutes through currently, and also as this cricket bro. And there says Justin, and Warriors never win by 50, says Paddy. And also, even in a good dream. Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it, for the Warriors? At this stage, can they make the top 8? That's probably the big question on everyone's mind currently. A lot of people would probably say no, but who knows? Maybe there's a top 8 finish in the future. The Warriors' reputation took a dive 20 years ago. So here's David the Mod. Now currently working their way around the side. Caleb Delaney, a couple metres short of line. This could be another try for the Hurricanes. And at this stage, I'm sounding like a broken record saying that they go over every single time, 50 runs for no wicket. And there's a great start to a test match, I guess you could say there, in time for a local Drua coach. And no, Warriors cannot make the top 8, says Justin there. Just short of line now for the Hurricanes. Very close. Now, TJ Perenara, backline movement. Give the ball to Morby. Go on. No, it's out to Billy Proctor. And he goes in for his second in the 62nd minute. Now it's 55-0. Wow. And that is going to be now another try for the Hurricanes. It's getting hard now because I thought there was going to be a fight back at some stage. I don't think anyone would have predicted for the Fijian Drua to lose this game by 55 at least. There's still a kick to come. There's still 17 minutes left. This game is going a long time as of all of these mistakes. Billy Proctor, he scores his second. It's a race for a hat trick. It's either going to be Hussein, Proctor, or it could possibly be Josh Morby, perhaps. We'll have to wait and see exactly how it does end up going. Now 63 minutes through, 55-0 for the Hurricanes. And also this is getting awesome for the Hurricanes, but ridiculous as a rugby score for 2 international club sides. Exactly right. Who likes cleaning their rooms? My stepdad told me I had to just then. And there says Xav, I mean, cleaning the room, it's one of those ones, it's a necessary evil, isn't it? That, like, you got to do it. So if you enjoy doing it, just what I would recommend, throw on some music and you just fly around the room, get it all done relatively quickly, and then you're sweet as, all done. That was very Kiwi lingo as well, wasn't it? I was like, how are Lancashire going? Oh, Lancashire. I think I said that wrong, didn't I? Now, going to be lining up this kick. Aidan Morgan goes away to the side. I've been recently watching a little bit more of cricket on YouTube, like people wearing GoPros playing cricket, and it's just made me want to play cricket more, but it's currently winter here in New Zealand, so we don't actually have the chance to do so at this current point in time. Riley Higgins, he isn't too far away from getting to make his way out onto the field. He'll be nervous for his debut, but will be able to have a big old impact. But now TK Howden taking it off the field. Or TK Howden actually onto the field. That is for Lipska. Has now gone off. Mimby with a good carry. And also Gareth, 2 wins and a draw so far. Most likely, draw today against Warwickshire. And yeah, because there was an entire session washed out by rain. And then also, if you do it every day, it'll become a habit. Says Justin. And that's probably a very good way of looking at it. If you do it each and every day, then yes, it might feel like more time eventually, but it also will feel like less time and less of a job when you just do it slightly. It's like cleaning like a kitchen or something like that. If you keep it clean, you're good to go. But then if you let it build up, then that's when it starts getting ugly. That's going to be Talia down the wing doing nicely, passing it on the inside to Onisi Ratave now in the hands of that man. Chris Namimbi, another attack and run. In fact, I believe it was actually their number 4 that time for the Fijian Drua. The Hurricanes have turned it over, but Fijian Drua might have taken it straight back. Yes, they have. They've got it back right. 1 try in this game, surely, for the Fijian Drua. Onisi Ratave goes down 22 metres out from the line. Kuravoli. In fact, sorry, the replacement for Kuravoli. And number 21, it's turned over in the breakdown. These are the Hurricanes are match fit now, so the lower teams usually get killed off about now. Samba Truitt's charged down, couple metres out, and Garden Bash has been forced back, and now it will be a 5-metre scrum. Dane Cole's currently, once again, seems to have a little bit of mongrel in him since he's come back. And also, Surrey won again by an innings. And they're unstoppable this season by the looks of it. So there's a bash in there as well, but it was charged down from Jackson Garden Bishop's kick. And then Ikanaveri with a good shot. Put on the pressure on Jackson Garden Bishop. And now it will be a 5-metre scrum for the Fijian Drua. This is their best opportunity of the day to be able to score themselves a try. And currently it looks like the drinks are being run onto the field, trying to keep the players refreshed for the later stages, because it's going to be tough for them. 14 more minutes to dig deep. They've already made a huge amount of tackles throughout this game. Looks like Duplessis Karifi might have some sort of injury for himself. While we've got a bit of a stoppage now, never mind, they're actually going to just show it. Now, line breaks 13-0 for the Hurricanes here. And the meters gain, they've gained an extra 400 meters. And Yoko Caleb Munster on. Great uncle here. Okay. So that's kind of the, I guess, connection there. So currently, he is still out on the field, I believe. Or have they put Titi Teller on? I'm looking in the background. I think Munster's still out there. But he has been looking decent in this game so far. Hasn't had a huge amount of opportunity in that back line, but is looking decent in the process. And he's a great signing for the Fijian Drua. And I hope that he can do big things for them. Yes, he is still on, and he is on the right-hand side, the left-hand side of the scrum. There's a chance that they might end up going to him. And also, we have got the Canes win. So here's Ali Fresh. I think from there, the win is almost confirmed for them. 55-0 up at this current point in time. And like they're saying, they're going to have to get the scrum right here for the Fijian Drua. Now, ready to put this ball in. It's a good push there from Nawai. They've got the advantage. I think that was for one of the guys on, what's that, against Owen French? Surely not. And that's scrum, but now going off to the short side. Off to Ratave going in. And on Nisi Ratave, he gets rid of the 0 for the Fijian Drua. He scores a try. And he will be able to get himself the try there on Nisi Ratave. And that is the first try of the match for the Fijian Drua. But like they said, it was actually Owen Franks who gave away that penalty advantage at scrum time, which then led to them being able to get that front foot ball, had the advantage, and then Ratave goes in and was able to score the first try of the half. They've had to work extremely hard for that one, but it has finally happened for the Drua. They have got themselves there first. There's a good fend on Jackson Garden, bashed it by Ratave as well. And also, we have got there, Gareth. There's just not enough time to get 20 wickets, especially when you find yourself on a flatter pitch. And also, I would try Fijian Drua, no donut for them. Says no, but also doesn't pick our sport, live in Fiji. Sometimes he does indeed. I think he's got family over there, if I'm not wrong. I'm going to try and get rid of that light being weird. Nope. No, okay, that's just going to, unfortunately, that weird line's going to be there for the rest of the live stream. Caleb Muntz, it's hit the post, and it has just missed, unfortunately, for Caleb Muntz. So that is going to be 55-5 on Ratave. Just as good as Habosi, just a smaller version of Tuisova at Tosa Drua Tosa. And they have said many good things about Ratave. And hopefully, my perfect backline combination would be having not just, okay, Riley Higgins is the youngest Hurricanes player ever, they have just said. But yeah, having Ratave, one wing on Nisi, the other. Oh, sorry, that's on Nisi Ratave. And then also Habosi, the other is what I meant for that one. And also, they finally got a try good for them or not. There's Ali. It's been stolen once again in the ground. Now the Hurricanes with 12 minutes left are going to continue to work. Now it's into the hands of Dane Coles. Takes big contact. Good tackle from Caleb Muntz, though. Be able to take him down now. Jackson Garden, bash a wide cutout pass out to Wes Horson. Does step nicely on the inside. He is chasing the hat trick. Him, Josh Morby, and also Billy Proctor have all been able to get themselves the 2 tries so far. Now Jackson Garden Bishop takes contact. It's a rough pass, and he's given it back into the hands of the Fijian Drua. Luckily for him, though, there was a drop ball. He has had a shocker since coming out onto the field, Jackson Garden Bishop. And I know that he's not the most popular man as it is. They're having the early mistakes. I think they will be a bit disappointed. But Riley Higgins, big opportunity for that youngster in Brumbies or Crusaders at GIO, says Max. To be fair, the Brumbies looking hard to beat, no matter where they play. That will be interesting. See how it goes. He's got all his friends and family in attendance. Now Riley Higgins can have a big opportunity to try and make the most of it. We have got there, having a good season, but top order, a bit worrying. Burns, Patel, and Umla aren't getting big scores. There's Gareth. So I guess, speaking of cricket for a second, England versus New Zealand with Ben Stokes as captain now of England. Do you think that they will be able to win that test series? with those changes. And also maybe they make a couple changes at the top of the order. I feel like it could be quite close because they have Jofra Archer also returning for those games. Now going forward, although New Zealand, they have got a win in England. That did happen relatively recently for the World Test Championship final. Now backline going nicely. And it also depends on everyone. Oh, Riley Higgins has dropped the ball for the first time he touched it, but they are going to be going back for the offside initially. And also how many in attendance is Max Cottle at the moment? I would say somewhere around the, I want to say 20,000 mark, but I could be slightly wrong there for the amount. Also, most New Zealand tea. And there says the Uso. And also we have got the high max says it was David the Mod. But they have decided to go for the scrum feed now for Dane Coles and his Hurricanes. Okay, they've said on the commentary that they've made FIJIAN Drua play unlike FIJIAN Drua. That was a comment from Israel Dag. And I think the big thing here is something has just not quite worked in the matchup. And I've mentioned it throughout the whole game. And I think they'll look at this and look at a way of trying to improve for the next game. And hi, David the Mod. Says Max there as well. Now Cam Roigard can be feeding this ball in for the Hurricanes. And I don't know if I cleaned it well. Says as long as there's nothing left on the floor, you should be all right, hopefully. And as long as there's not just random piles of stuff around. Cam Roigard, wide cut out pass out to Morby. And the man who got the first 2 tries towards his hat-trick has now got himself his third. And Morby, I believe that is his first hat-trick for the Hurricanes and about the 6th hat-trick that we have seen of the competition. Like they're saying, he's made over 100 metres today, Josh Morby. Kitioni Garatu disappointed. Now Stokes doesn't change much, and Archer is overrated in my opinion, says Gareth there. Yeah, that's the thing. We haven't seen him in a while, though, Archer. And the big thing for me is that extra pace. Like, I know his bowling at times can be a bit shaky, but it's just being able to bowl 150 plus. Like, if they don't go with him, Mark Wood, for me, like, his commitment in the Ashes was admirable because his side, they weren't going that well, but he was just continuing to try and fight throughout that whole time. At 72 minutes through this game now, it's another try for the Hurricanes, and now they are sitting at 60 points to 5 in this matchup now. Aidan Morgan going to be lining up this kick. It should be a little bit easier than a couple of the other ones here, sitting with a 55% accuracy today. He's actually missed about the last 2 or 3 kicks in this one. He was 5 from 7, then he was 5 from 8, then he was 5 from 9, and now he has been able to right his wrongs. Has got that one over Aidan Morgan, and now the score is going to be 62 points to 5, and yeah, Gareth is overrated, and there, as I says, David. So I guess if you were to choose Mark Wood or Jofra Archer as your pace bowler, who would you go with for those test matches? I assume you go Wood, maybe, if I'm not wrong. Currently now 62 points to 5. I mean, one thing's for sure, and the Sky Stadium crowd have got their money's worth and just bowled 150 plus deliveries in the old one. Ought to get your wicket, says Sebastian. Exactly right. And also the Ashes was a train wreck, says David. Yeah, every time we mention it, it probably gives Sebastian some terrible flashbacks, I've just realised. So we do apologise for that, Sebastian. But if you beat us in England, it will feel a little bit better. I guess that's gone out on the full from the Hurricanes. So it's not the best kick from Cam Roigard. And now the FIJIAN Drua are going to have themselves a line-up. And Greek Achilles, remember him. And there says Greek Achilles or Greek Warrior. Greek Warrior. Who we talking? Xav, do let me know. They take it nicely. Going off the back. Nicely done. And Kitioni Salawa with the carry. They've got the advantage here for the FIJIAN Drua. There could be another try just around the corner for them. Chris Namimbi with another carry forward. He's going to get dragged into that breakdown. Oh, it's a short ball. It's dropped and it's going back for the penalty now. I just don't see England having enough to get past New Zealand. Yeah. The only reason I mention it is because I know normally, like, teams that aren't in form seem to always beat us. Like, I've noticed, like, in past years. I hope it's not the case here. Hopefully New Zealand can continue that momentum from the Troy legend. I think he means, I see. Yeah, that's what I mean. Says Xav there as well. Sorry, I've slightly slouched down, haven't I? I'm getting more comfy at this stage. I bet you as soon as this match ends, I will probably end up just falling asleep on my chair. I haven't heard back from George at this stage, which does mean more than likely he is working and he is out on a tractor. So that is why we haven't heard anything from himself. So I'll probably end up either crashing, or I'll probably try and watch the Warriors game, maybe do a bit of editing so that I can get a bit ahead for the end of the week. Brilliantly taken there by Caleb Delaney. And it was a great steal. And the ball is going to be back available now for the Hurricanes. And also, what English pace bowler did you mention, Hamish? And there, so I've got Mark Wood and also Jofra Archer as the two who bowl that 150. I think they've also got, Sebastian might be able to help me out here. Is there a young 150 guy in Irish Champions Cup stream today? Says Sebastian. I really wanted to, but I think I might be asleep, sadly, for that one. Because I did end up getting 2 hours last night after the last Champions Cup one. So I should probably catch up on sleep, but it depends. If I'm still awake and wide awake at 2, I probably will end up staying awake for that game and then doing that live stream. But if I am, I guess, half asleep beforehand, I probably will end up crashing before it and sleeping for like 15 hours. Now backline moving, and also Mark Wood over Archer. Sam Curran is not bowling fit. So Wokes, Broad, Wood, Anderson, Dom Sipley should open in there as well. Says Gareth. Because that's the thing, some of those guys in county cricket are just incredible with their averages. So I feel like they need to use that as their advantage, and that is fair enough, mate. There says Sebastian. Although that's the sad thing. If it was a Sunday game, I feel like I would have been able to do it. If it was a Monday game at 5 a.m., it would have been fine. Because it's a 2 a.m. one, it just kind of is at a nowhere time, if that makes sense. 57.1, biggest so far. Says X there, and also Topley. Could be a bolter. I see that was from Gareth. Currently did the Sekarifi. A little bit disappointed with that one. A little bit of cramp. It's like Dane Coles is stretching out one of his teammates' legs, I believe. Oh, in fact, it's one of the Fijian Drua players' legs. And I think is that Onisi Ratave? Surely it's not Ratave. He's only just come out on the field. So I'd like to think he wouldn't have cramp. I can't quite work out who that is on their back. But currently now we will be doing all the Super Rugby games next week, I should mention. Currently 76 and a half minutes through this game. Only 3.5 minutes to go. And I think the big thing for the Fijian Drua is that 3.5 minutes will probably still feel like quite an eternity. But as long as they get out of this one without conceding another try, I think they'll be relatively happy. But anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And we will go like this. And that is the link to the Kiwi Lad Sport. Be sure to check that out as well. And also, we have got the Dom Sibley just scored 142 not out against Lancashire. The only reason he was dropped was because you're going at slow strike rate around 30. See, that's the thing as well. Will you be able to beat New Zealand with a strike rate like less than about, I'd say 40 or so is probably when it starts to get 50-50 a bit. Because New Zealand, they love to bat long at 62 points. I just left for a couple of minutes, says Carl. Yep, we've had plenty of tries scored since you were gone, which I believe since you were gone, Morby has scored, Proctor has scored, Houston has scored, I think 2, and then Walker Leawere and Rayasi were both able to score. I think they are all the tries that were scored while you were away. And also Ratave was able to get one for the Fijian Drua in the 67th minute. Now Cam Roygard feeds the ball in for the Hurricanes. It's a good push. Oh, and France put under huge pressure once again. And now going back off the back, TK Alden with a good run, the man from Manawatu. Now out wide to Billy Proctor, close to the touchline here. Now we have already seen one hat-trick in this game. Can we see the second double hat-trick into this weekend? Because the Crusaders had Lester Whainanuku and Will Jordan. Now Roygard goes short side, spins, meters short of the line, round the side. Sangster says thanks very much, and he gets another for the Hurricanes. I'm really interested to see who will Ben Stokes bring in his first test as captain. Yeah, hopefully, the thing is, I see Ben Stokes as more of an aggressor than Root. So I think he'll go for guys who do have a little bit of a higher strike rate rather than a guy who's going to bat time. But then the same thing could be said about maybe batting guys who will take longer just to make sure that you can wear down the bowlers. So maybe you pick someone who bats like years for that first test match, try and wear down New Zealand, and then go from there. But Justin Sangster, they have plenty representative. Yeah, 12 was actually the first time we played rugby, they have just said. And also we have got that as the problem with English Cricket Board. They overthink. Okay, he has a low strike rate, but he doesn't get out for 10. And there says Gareth. Oh, Justin Sangster has a black belt in Taekwondo. which is a lot more belts than I have in Taekwondo. And Blues, Crusaders, now Hurricanes, all about 50 points in their game. Crazy, says Chris L. And the weird thing about it is the games other than those ones were pretty much, I guess you could say, like the ones who didn't have those massive scores, I think they all lost. If I'm not wrong, or close to all lost, other than maybe the one side and the Highlanders. And Rob Key understands that, Gareth, which is why I think he's the right man for the job. Says Sebastian there, that one is missed away to the right-hand side this time for Josh Morby. And Compton and Sibley should open. Says Gareth, and also I've enjoyed the commentary and comments. This was a long, drawn-out affair, sorry, says David the Mod. It was. Unfortunately, just many tries. And it's just one of those ones that it seemed like it was going to be over a long time ago. And it keeps on going. Like this game has been going for about an hour and 40 minutes or so, I think it is, which is about the time that you normally get to full time. So they're a little bit behind after all the replays, but it looks like now it is going to be only 30 seconds left, and the Hurricanes want another one. Meri Langi must be exhausted. He's been carrying the side on his back for this matchup. Billy Proctor now passing it back. Aidan Morgan gets the ball off the bounce, goes for the kick in behind. He was looking slightly for the touch line, and it does not go out. His foot was very close to touching the touch line there. Now into touch. One last opportunity for the Hurricanes. Considering taking it quickly, and they do just that. Aidan Morgan, great offload to Roygaard. And now this is 80 minutes. Jackson Garn and Bishop. They have one more attack in the men. The Hurricanes, Billy Proctor out to Wes Houston. That was forward. Oh, it's actually a different ball. So because of that, they actually have to go right back for the line out and drop a Kent opener for another Crawley out and Compton in. And it is, says Sebastian. And also we have got the AU through and through. Says Xavier there. Right, it is a line out for the Hurricanes. So we're trying to go for one last little attack and play. And Dane Coles, he's waiting for the Fijian Drua to go into the line out. And they have actually gone with, I believe it's a 7-man line out. Yeah, it's gone into the middle. Nicely taken by TK out. And now Roygaard goes back across to Morby, who already got himself 3. Jackson Gardner Bishop off to Aidan Morgan. Rush defense on him by Ravatamata. He's gone straight through there, Aidan Morgan. He's had a very good game, although he's just knocked the ball on. And now it's going to be in the hands of, it is the number 20, which is, I believe, Joe Tamani. It was initially going to be Momodonu that have the opportunity. Dupitsikarefi in through the side. And they've actually said it's a penalty now to the Hurricanes. Oh, tip tackle landed on his head. And he's not too happy. He's fired up currently. The stay to Rotave, but I think he ended up flipping him on his head, which is why he was not too happy with that one. Great call, Amish. Cheers all later. Tonight, I take it. And there says David the Mod. Maybe later tonight. I'm hoping to be up, but if I'm not, we will be back for the next week's one. So it just depends. Oh, Riley Higgins has got himself a yellow card. So on debut, he's dropped the ball, got a yellow card, and now he's off the field for the next 10 minutes. Or the next, I guess, as long as this game is going to be going for. But yeah, if we are up, we'll be racing 92, taking on Sale Sharks. If not, we should have a video coming out in only a couple more days' time. Now, there is foul play, and the Fijian Drua will have the last attacking opportunity. Now, we've already seen a game this weekend go for 100 minutes. Could we see another one? And if it did somehow go for 100, that would be absolutely insane. And you would think the Hurricanes would not have the ball in the next 18 minutes if that was the case. So else they may just consider kicking that ball out. Now the Fijian Drua, they throw it in. Taken nicely by Nasila Silla. Now Caleb Muntz across to Sharika Davita. Can they get over the line one more time in this matchup? And also we got there, cheers, David. There's Gareth, there is our Ratave. Passes it back across to Muntz. It's a loose ball. It's dropped. It's close to the touchline, but they've just kept it in the field of play now. Now counter up from Dane Coles. It's an advantage. No clear release. As the call, Caleb Muntz with some good work on the ground. He does get his head driven into the ground by his own teammate. Now it's going back for the penalty to the Fijian Drua. And Dane Coles, he is complaining. Nothing new there. So now maybe will they go for the line out? It does look like they are going to. So Caleb Muntz, at least the Fijian Drua, they are back in their line out for this matchup. Whereas in past games, they've kind of switched between scrums and line outs depending on where they are on the field and also depending on how the momentum is going for them in those set plays. We're currently sitting 83 minutes through. And Kanaveri about to throw on this ball for the Fijian Drua. Started in, taken nicely at the front by Chris Namimbi. And it is looking like a well-set rolling maul here for the Fijian Drua. This is actually the first time we've seen them do a rolling maul throughout this match, and that is something that they're normally pretty prominent with. And the way that they do attack, slowly marching forward now. And Ikanaveri still got this ball at the back. They have been told to use it once. Straight through the middle. Tavita Mafaleo causing problems. Now Cam Roigard ends up wrestling him to the ground. Now 30 metres out from the line. Short ball into the hands of Ratave. He is tackled by Owen France, who has stayed almost down for a little bit longer there after that tackle. I think it was because his ankle was stuck underneath the breakdown. Fijian Drua, they have not given up. That is brilliantly done by Blake Gibson, but unable to get the turnover. Now it's kicked downfield from Nawai, going for the cross kick. It's close, it goes out into touch, and that will be the end of the game. 67 points to 5 in favour of the Hurricanes. And yes, David, and also we have got there Fiji, and there says Medi as well, but just wasn't the game for the Fijian Drua that they were after. But the good news is they have got another game next week to improve, and that will be up against Moana Pacifica. That game is going to be an absolutely awesome one, and we are going to be live on the channel doing that game also. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That did feel like quite a long game, but the reason for that is because there were so many penalties against the Fijian Drua and the Hurricanes throughout that game. But then also alongside it, it was also, I guess, yeah, it's just one-sided. And also we have got there, what do you say at the end of the game of like this? Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky one because it's like, what can you say other than Hurricanes, they played very well. Fijian Drua, they will have moments where they do need to improve, and hopefully they can do so. Because if they can do it, they will be able to go back. And also, thanks, Hamish, get that Telfast for Hay Fever. I am quickly going to actually take a screenshot or a picture of Telfast. There we go. I have taken a picture of it just so that I do remember. And there as well. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you are new to the channel, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, be sure to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport channel. I don't think anyone, like, that's the thing. If I did a preview, like my preview, I said Hurricanes by 8. If I did my preview and I said Hurricanes to win by 62, I would have been absolutely obliterated in the comments before the match took place. So I'm glad I only said that they'd win by 8. I was just very wrong. I'd rather be very wrong than completely abused for that one. But at the end of the day, one try for the Fijian Drua of Ratave, and then the tries for the Hurricanes. Get ready because there's a few of them that we're about to list off. It was the tries, first of all, for Josh Morby. He was able to get himself the hat-trick. Asafa Mua scored. Billy Proctor scored 2. Wes Hewson scored 2. And then it was Walker Leawere also was able to score. Rayasi got 1, and then Justin Sangster was able to score. So it is fair to say that they do get themselves the bonus point for this game, the Hurricanes, as they have now got themselves up to, I believe, 29 points. So they are closing the gap between themselves and 6th place. And maybe next week they will be able to make their way up there a bit further if they do win their game up against the Waratahs. But I think that is almost going to be the end of this live stream. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all for the next one. Be sure to check out the Kiwi Lad Sport. We have got Super Rugby coming just around the corner. And I will see you all a little bit later on.